Okay, welcome to another episode of Comedy and Everything Else. Now, Steph is getting ready to make some, she's broiling some chicken, or she's barbecuing some chicken. Thank you. Steph, could you turn off the AC?
How do you barbecue in a kitchen? I thought
No, we have outside, we have a gas grill hooked up to a line into our house.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's really
You're not
nice.
outside, you're not barbecuing.
It's the Weber's Silver Series 500. I don't know if you are familiar. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. One of the sponsors of your show, Jimmy.
It's got the flavor rod saver. By the way, the guy who runs the website that hosts this pod, or one of the guys, we'll think about. I'm gonna trash the guy maybe next podcast because he's kind of a big douche.
Okay.
Rob Walsh.
Is Bill prepared to deal with me? Does he know?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think so. We're here with comedian Bill Burr. Bill Burr, of course, you know from. I saw him when he was on a episode. I was trying to think of that show I saw you on.
Yeah, you know what? That's the perfect intro I should have. Yeah,
everyone
Bill Burr,
knows who you
know
are.
Him from.
I was trying to think of a funny.
He did that thing on that VH1.
No, everyone
channel.
knows who you are who listens to this podcast. That's why I don't feel it needs to give you.
All right, I'm one of the hacks running around the country, giving you my hour of what I think is wacky. I have a new special coming out called "What's the Deal?"
Bill Burr.
Up.
Yeah, your new special is entitled "Why Do I Do This?" Correct?
Yes, and that was the one that came out last year, and I'm getting ready to do another one.
Oh,
in
look
December. I'm taping another one up in San Francisco.
Really? You're already doing another
hour.
Another
Jimmy.
one.
I'm going to wait.
This is the thing. I taped that other one in November of 2007, but because of the writer's strike and all that crapoli, it took like 8 months to get it out. So I had.
Is that what the deal was?
That was the deal, and I had an 8 month to head start. People like, you already got a new hour. It's like, yeah, I taped that last one back in the 60s. So I'm ready. I'm ready to do another one. And that's it, Jimmy. It's it.
Speak closer.
No, that's going to be it.
Oh, there you go.
Off my next special. That's it.
You're doing it in December?
I'm doing the Roman Colosseum. I'm going to play the Taj Mahal. I'm going to be the biggest comedian ever. I'm going to be so big, you can't even see me. And I'm not going to have like video screens or anything. You're just going to be sitting out in a desert.
You're going to be like that guy from Canada. Who's that? Russell?
Dude, Russell Peter. Yeah, he sells out Asia.
That's true, right?
Yeah, like that's on his calendar. He just has Asia. Like a Friday night, and like everybody from Asia shows up.
And they section it off.
He stands on the Great Wall of China. What's the deal?
Have you ever seen that guy?
You know what's funny? I see him all the time on auditions, and I see him as I'm walking out of a club, he's walking in. I did a gig in Toronto. He had just gone on. I've never seen him do stand-up. I know he likes white sneakers, though.
Yes, he likes white sneakers.
He always has white shoes on.
He enjoys a white sneaker. I like a color.
I think that's his nickname over in Asia.
White sneaker?
Yeah, Russell White Sneaker Peters. Like Billy White Shoes Johnson we have over here. Good for him, dude. I'd love to sell out a continent. You could sell out any continent. What would it be? You can't pick this one. Let's not be so isolationist.
We can't.
I can't sell out the South.
If I could sell out a continent?
Yeah.
Ooh,
what would you pick?
Europe, of course.
Yeah, really? I would go like Nicaragua.
That's not a continent.
No. Did for comedy.
Well, of course I thought to go that way first. I didn't.
I was mostly panicked thinking about the continents.
Oh.
Like
I was going to say
Palin.
Iceland, but I'm not that into white chicks.
How are they bankrupt?
Yeah, they totally went bankrupt, and I think they went and kicked out all their elected leaders. Like they went and physically went and kicked them out.
Yeah, but I like nobody's starving to death, because that's a big thing I'm fearing, is when people finally discover that we're just giving each other green pieces of paper. Once that happens,
well, they're starting to discover it, because they're monetizing the debt, which means they're driving down the value of the dollar. They're just printing money. And so the value of the dollar is going to shit. My friend Mike.
Can you explain? Because I'm too stupid. But how come ketchup isn't like $90 a bottle at this point? I don't understand that. And why isn't gold like $20,000 an ounce?
And how come ketchup tastes exactly the same as it did when I was a little kid? Yet tomatoes totally blow. Like you can't get
suck.
You can't get a good tomato now. Well, that's because it's all factory farming, and what they don't ever ripen. They pick them completely unripe and green, and there's no sugar in them in the tomatoes, and then they inject them with some kind of a chemical that turns them red, and then they send them to your store.
Is that right?
You didn't know that? That's why they taste like shit.
What are we?
And that's why tomatoes suck. That's why I have to go to a farmer's.
How much fucking money do you have to make? That's the question. Being a traveling road comic, I ask constantly. When I go to these airports and they come up with yet another way to charge me, and the fucking flight is sold out. Okay, if I sell out a comedy club, could I honestly stand back there and cry poorhouse to you? You'd be like, dude, the club is sold out. You're on a plane. It's jam-packed with people. They got the rows so close. We got our knees up to our chest. And they're charging $25 for a bag on U.S. Air now. You know why? Because American is charging $25.
Yes.
And nobody complained. That's how they justify it.
Well, Bill, I understand you got some of your money back one time.
I understand that too.
Yes, I did.
What does it say on the blue tag on the wire?
On the blue tag on my wire?
It
says Steph.
Oh, okay.
It says Steph. This is a high-tech show right now.
Yes.
This is what happens when your blue tape guy doesn't show up.
You were a little low. I had your mic. Your mic was a little low for the top of the show, so we're going to rewind that. Do you think you can remember what you said?
No.
Okay, well, we'll keep going then.
There's no possible way.
So tell me, you want to tell? That's it's a nightmare. You know, I often say that it used to be flying used to be a chore. It went from being like cool when I first started flying.
Privilege. An upper class thing. You used to wear a suit. Yeah. Women had these hats with veils. Dude, you know what? You know what first class used to be on Pan Am? Before the MetLife building was a MetLife building in New York, used to be the Pan Am building. When you flew first class, you landed in JFK. You got off the plane. You walked over to a helicopter. They flew you to the top of the Pan Am building. They had a club there. You got drinks. You probably got blown if you want to. And then you got your bags. You went down to the ground floor, jumped in a cab, and went to your hotel. That was first class back then.
Really?
I flew first class recently, and by the time they got to my row, they were out of eggs. I swear to God, in first class, and I lost it. I pouted.
You didn't
I was like,
bring
you know
enough eggs for first class?
Yeah, I pouted. I was like, I don't want anything. So 5 minutes goes by, and then the stewardess comes back to me and goes, actually, and she has these eggs, and she goes, actually, the pilot said that you could have his eggs. And I'm like, I don't want his eggs. I want my eggs.
Yes.
I don't want my pilot like passing out from hunger up there. He should get eggs. I should get eggs. We should all get eggs.
Did you say this to her?
What? No, it was a guy. What did I say? That's what I said. I said, I don't want his eggs. No, I ended up eating them, actually. Now that I think of it. That was the old me who didn't complain, but the new me complains.
That's what I understand. You're writing letters and
25? No, emails.
Emails?
It's 2009. They don't even accept letters. I paid $25 for my first bag checked. I go, you got to be kidding me. It's $25. And the lady's like, well, it's only 20 if you go online. And I'm like, yeah, but then you don't have a job. She goes, I know, but they make me say that. I go, they make you say that? They make you try to get rid of your own job? She goes, yeah. You know what's even worse? They actually make us tell people and encourage old people even to use those automated machines. And the people above them get a commission, the more people who use them. And the people down the bottom don't get anything. So they're basically using my and her financial position to get me to pick up the knife and slit her throat because they don't have the balls to do it. It's brutal. It's brutal. So I pay $25 for my check bag. I land and I stand and I have to wait 55 minutes before I finally get my bag. 35 minutes goes by. Nobody has said anything. And I finally walk into the glass booth, a la Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with the bags? Right? And she's just like, oh, you know, it was a Sunday. We have a skeleton crew. Blah, blah. So I go, what do you got, like one guy? She goes, yeah, one guy for 200 bags. So I kind of had a laugh. This was about 20, 25 minutes in. And then 40 minutes in, then I walked in, and I was like, yeah, who do I complain to? I want to get my money back for the bag thing. They're like, oh, you know, you can't do it here. And the lady's not even making eye contact with me because she's so beaten down from getting yelled at. That's what I love, too, those employees. Like, they have no factoring in on the decision making. Their job is to basically stand there and get yelled at for the douchebag who's sitting on a yacht. You know. So anyway, she just hands me this piece of paper, and goes, "This is the website. You go there to complain." So then I walked out and I start trying to cause a riot, a mini riot. I go, "I get my money back for this." I go, "I just got my piece of paper." Like, "You can do that?" "Yeah." And I sent like 5 people in there, right? Attica.
Yeah.
You know, light some trash on fire, right? And then the bags came down 55 minutes later. So I go to the website. This is how psychotic corporations are. I'm going there to complain, and I have to fill out like a page and a half of information. Everything's short of my social security number. So even when they're losing, they're winning. They get more information that they can share with all their other douche. So I refuse to do it. So there's a phone number, and I called up. I learned this new magic word, unacceptable. Mm-hmm. That's all I say, unacceptable. And I call up, and I said, "Yeah, I want to get my money back," but Bob told them the whole deal. And then they go, "Yeah, well, you got to go to the website." I go, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. There's too much information. I'm not giving you that." They go, "Well, sir, that's the only way you can get your money back." I go, "That's unacceptable. I'd like to talk to somebody else." "Okay." And then they put somebody else on. "Yes, sir. Well, if you go to USA or gofuckyourself.com, you just fill it out." I go, "That's unacceptable. I don't want to do all that." "Well, sir, that's the only way to do it." I go, "That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable." Okay, I don't have to give you all of this information. You know who I am. You know what flight I'm on. I waited an hour. It's unacceptable. I want my money back. I know you didn't. I keep saying, "I know you didn't do it. I know you're not the person." I just kept doing that. And then all of a sudden, now, after 20 minutes of being on the phone, now they have this little secret email for me to go to. I don't want to go do the email. And they go, "Listen, this is the guy. All right, you got us. Email this guy. Leave your phone number. Tell him what hours you want him to call back. He'll call you back in 2 days." So I say Thursday between 1 and 4. Gave him the whole scenario. I fly U.S. Airways all the time. I'm a loyal customer. I just did a
Are you a
gig.
loyal customer of the
Hell
US?
no.
Well, don't you think he could look that up?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, but
I don't think they're going to waste your
I'm throwing out
time.
all the words. So basically, and then like the next day, they send me an email. I got it the next day. Said, "Due to your circumstances," because I said, yeah, they had a skeleton crew. In other words, you didn't have enough people to unload the plane. My girl had to pay for parking. I still ended up losing because she had to pay for parking. So the guy sends me an email back and he goes, "Due to your circumstances, we will give a one-time courtesy refund." A one-time. See, they still had to put
Yes.
themselves on top, like they're doing me a favor. And it's like, no, dude, you're going to give me an every-time refund. I'm not paying $25 and waiting for 55 minutes. So this is the thing. But classic corporation, they can't just give me the refund. They always have to make you crawl through another 100 yards of shit, right? So basically, they can't just give it back to me. It's going to take about a month. And they gave me, and I can't talk to this guy ever again who sent me the email, but they did give me the part of the website where I can go to monitor the status of my refund. $25, dude. And I know what they want. They're hoping I'm just going to blow it off, and I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I'm going to be part of the 0.667%.
So how did it, so Bill, what's your problem with capitalism?
What is my problem with capitalism? It's like baseball. It needs a salary cap. It's the exact same thing because everything is turning into the Yankees. Okay? And I feel like I'm on the Pirates. That's why. And I'm actually in a great position. But what they're doing is they're organized. We're not. And they have turned the government into middle management.
Yes.
It goes the banks, then it goes corporations, and then it goes that guy in Blackwater, and
Yes.
then it goes the government. That's the pecking order of the power. Like the government is just like that person when you go to the airport and you scream at the girl behind the counter, "I'm never flying your fucking airline again." That's what the president is now.
Yes.
He told the banks after they messed up the economy and stole $1 trillion that they shouldn't take bonuses. And the banks said, "Yeah, you know what? We're going to take them. Why don't you run back to the White House?" And he did. So right there, I was just like, all right, I get it. Dude, if the president tells me not to take a bonus, I don't get a bonus.
Yeah, but they took him.
They took the bonus.
They're taking
That's what I'm
their
saying.
bonus.
They told him to go back to the White House. They didn't literally say that, but they were like, "Yeah, it's in our contract. There's nothing we can do. We're too big to fail." I'm telling you, Jimmy.
Bill, put your earphones on for a second.
I'm telling you.
There will be time for them to make profits, and there will be time for them to get bonuses. Now's not that time. And that's a message that I intend to send directly to them.
A message. That's the best he can
That's a
do.
message.
He's going to leave a message. He's not going to order them.
That's
a
what he
message.
said. And guess what?
They had a message.
This year, the bonus pool for the Wall Street banks is larger than ever.
Yeah, and I got to tell you something. I'm
Larger than ever.
Yeah.
We're laying off teachers. We're closing down parks.
Yeah.
We're cutting health care. There is no welfare to
40,000 people die every year without health care.
45,000.
I gotta tell you- I gotta tell you
study.
this
We
right
have
now.
no health care to people. We're at the biggest bonus pool in history for the Wall Street bankers. The guys who fucking did this to the economy after Barack Obama tells them this is not the time to be taken. They're going to come. It's all over.
I got to tell you, I'm so delusioned. I did the last six of the last 7 weeks on the road, and I am so delusioned by everything. I don't even know where I stand on things because I'm sitting there going like, these goddamn bankers, these pieces of crap and all this blah, blah, blah. We need to organize and we need to have some sort of peaceful revolt against these guys. And then I'm sitting in this airport terminal and the fucking animals that I'm looking at. This person ate like 4 Egg McMuffins. I saw a guy, wait, no, let me finish. Eats 4 Egg McMuffins and wiped his face with the bag. With the bag, Jim. He didn't even do it like on the side. He just like he just got done shaving. Over his whole face.
Yeah, they're flying great.
I saw another fat fuck in the airport. His back itched, and he's leaning up against his support pole for a whole floor of an airport. And it's like a grizzly bear is rubbing up against this fucking pole. Shameless animals. The joke I've been doing to my act is, if you can't itch it, you can't wash it. And now you're on the plane and you're sitting next to me and you're bitching that you got to pay for 2 seats. Look, I get why these arrogant fuckers think that they need
Everybody's
a
mad
bonus.
at fat people in America. I think that's funny. Go ahead.
Dude, it really is one of the least sympathetic diseases out there because who doesn't want to eat every cupcake that they
Yes.
can get their hands on?
Right.
They're living the dream, dude. You know what I mean?
I sat next to these 2 people. I was coming home from Baltimore, and I was sitting in the airport, and I sat down to have my little egg sandwich, and they are 2 of probably the fattest people I've ever seen in my life, and they're eating, their Ed McMuffins and whatever, and they're just stuffing them, and they eat 2, and I was like, okay, and I'm like, and then the woman goes into her purse, pulls out this shoebox, right, and it's obviously some kind of gourmet treat. She opens the top, and she pulls out this hunk that looks like a hockey puck of fudge. Hands it to her husband. He jams the whole thing in his mouth. Fudge. And then she pulls out another hunk, like a hunk. It's dense. You know what I mean?
And fudge
dense.
is not like something that you can take a big bite. I mean, it's like you can only have a little bit of it because
It
you
is
almost
dense.
pass out.
And I'm like, how are these people? Like, if I have a piece of white bread, I'm like tired all day. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have had that white bread. These people are jamming McMuffins in their mouth and pieces of shoebox sized pieces of fudge, and they're functioning. Maybe I'm just jealous of them.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I'm in the middle. I get it. I get why those guys are so arrogant. I know what they tell their kids. We're better than them. But look at them. Look how they live their lives.
Yes.
And we're down in the sports bars.
Yes.
Jets, Jets. Morons. We're morons. Dude, the level with which that I give a shit about sports it's ridiculous. When all this other stuff is going on, it really is. It's bread and circus, and I've totally bought into it. Hook line. Do you know tonight I watched the Monday Night Football game while flipping back and forth between the Kings and the Dallas Stars, and while I was taping the Vancouver Canucks versus the Edmonton Oilers game.
Why are you so into sports like that, Bill? Before you answer that question, think
I'm
about
running
it.
from love, Jimmy.
I think
I don't know what I'm doing, but you know something? I always wanted to learn a second language. I got that goddamn Rosetta Stone.
Oh, you do?
I got it last Christmas, dude. A fucking
What
2K
language?
level of dust is on top of this thing. I haven't opened it. It's just sitting there mocking me.
toupee level of dust.
And I was sitting there like, what's his face? Burt Reynolds and Malone. Remember that? Didn't he play a movie called Malone?
I don't remember.
It was somewhere between Sharky's Machine and Stroke a Race. It's one of the
Stroke
greatest.
Race sounds so dirty.
It's one of the greatest covers to a movie I've ever seen. He's just standing there with some sort of shotgun. He's all sweaty, and there's flames behind him. It's like a Dio album cover.
I saw. Is that Hooper? When he was in Hooper, remember that?
No, Hooper was a cool one. He was Terry Bradshaw was in it.
Yeah, Terry
From
Bradshaw was in
Zibulus
it.
Jr. Who was the name of that young kid who just pissed it all away?
Yeah, that guy from the
Ephraim
helicopter.
Seymour Hoffman. The fuck, I can't ever remember the names.
A year after dozens of banks around the world accepted billions in taxpayer bailouts to avoid being swept away by the financial crisis, the same banks are beginning to announce billions of dollars for bonuses to executives and traders, many of whom are the same people charged with the reckless risk-taking that led to the current recession.
Oh yeah, no, it's over. Dude.
And you know how they're and their banks are starting to post gains again. Like Goldman Sachs had like a $4 billion profit. You know how they're doing it? They're not lending money to people and making money off loan. It's the same shit that they did before. It's all securitization. It's all these insurance default swaps and all this
banking
bullshit.
and insurance. It's the two biggest scams
Unbelievable.
ever. Like oh yeah, health insurance. Yeah, we cover everything except what's wrong with you. That's basically it. And then when we actually have to finally pay for it, the amount of money that you've already given us plus your deductible is the worst case scenario. Maybe we'll break even on you. And if we're going to lose, we'll just cancel your
People
insurance.
don't know that about insurance. They don't know that. They go, well, I like my insurance. That's because you've never been sick. As soon as you get sick, the full force of your health insurance company goes against you, trying to find ways
And
to
this is the
deny.
worst thing. Your premium helped pay the salaries of the guys who are looking over your case trying to find an angle, dude.
Trying to deny you the payment for the services that you need. It's the craziest system. You know, somebody made the analogy that it took us about 40 years before we figured out that cigarettes are really bad for us.
Right.
You know, it went from the 1965, the Surgeon General says that these are bad for your health. They had to put that on the side of the pack up until now. Hey, this is going to give you lung cancer.
Right.
It's definitely going to happen.
Right.
So it took like that long, and for
weren't we just-
somebody says that's how long it's going to take for us to figure out that health insurance is dangerous for our health.
Well, we actually just read that. Was it WellPoint that the people that their employees that they actually cut their benefits?
Yes,
Or was it Blue Cross?
No, it was Blue Cross. Yes, it was,
They actually cut their employees' benefits.
they
No, because they're out of ways to make money.
money. Yes, and so
Like,
the
and
thing
every
about
quarter they have to show that documentary,
problem with the
corporation. Every
corporation.
quarter they have to show a
profit.
profit, and they are out of ways. They're just straight up robbing people.
So, like for instance, when I remember the first taste I got of this corporatism stuff was when I was working Knuckleheads in Minneapolis, and it was in the Mall of America, and it had gotten bought.
Did you go on the Ferris wheel?
I did not, but it had gotten bought. One of the funniest and saddest things there was a store that had just opened. I was there like about 4 or 5 months after 9/11. And there was a store that had just opened up right before 9/11 called the 9/11 store.
9/11. And
Yes.
what did it mean?
And it was that you could go in and get all this memorabilia, like from fire departments and emergency and police things. And they sold police hats and all this. And it was the 911 store. And then I remember they had
911.
yeah, and they had there was a 911 store.
God.
And so they had to put up another like poster because they had, I'm sure all their letterhead was the 911 store, and they had T-shirts and that. So they didn't want to change the name of their store. They thought it would maybe blow over. So they put a poster up. This store was named before. This is not any. And I'm like, that's not helping.
Yeah.
That's not helping.
You know what's funny is Pearl Harbor is Pearl Harbor, but like all like major like you have to think was Pearl Harbor December 7th?
Yes.
December 7th. So you got to try to remember from history class, but like no one's ever going to forget 9/11. Like they're going to be maybe that September 11th thing will stick, and we can keep the name of our store as 911.
But anyway,
There's no dash. Won't people see that
the first taste of corporatism I got was that place had been bought by a big corporation that ran a bunch of nightclubs. One of them being the America's original bar and grill, or something like one of those place, America's Bar and Grill.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just this huge place that. So anyway, so the woman who was the manager of the comedy club at the time had just gotten promoted to be manager there. She was the assistant manager at the America's Bar across, and they own Jillian's. They own a bunch of these
horrible places to eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Barbecue.
So she had just gotten promoted from over there over to the comedy club. So she knew a lot about comedy.
Right.
And how it worked. And I remember there was a thing up in the bar area of the club, the service bar, that said, it had how much money they made last year in drinks for this week, and even each day how much they made, and then they had to outdo it. And I'm like, so you guys just can't be happy making a decent profit.
Money.
You can't just make a profit. You have to do, but that's the way people get promoted in corporations. They had increased the profit from last year and the last quarter, from the quarter from last. And so I'm like, but how are these waitresses
it's a recipe for stealing?
How are these waitresses supposed to make them drink more? What do you mean? You have to sell more drink? No, this is how many drinks you sell at a show. And this is how much money you fucking make. You don't have to make more every goddamn quarter to feel successful.
They're morons.
But
then this thing, then they weigh it. Well, what if somebody actually drives out of here drunk and kills himself or somebody else and sues us? They don't even go, yeah, we should stop. They go, okay, well, how much would that cost?
Yes. Of course that's what they do.
What are the odds of that happening? Like, and they have these big fucking words so you can actually have that conversation where you're not
if you have
saying
your dram shop insurance.
Yeah, if you if there is a alcohol induced episode, what would be the ramifications of the fallout if there was negative whatever
Yes.
You know, one time
how would it impact our fourth quarter earnings?
One time they put me on hold, right, and they kept sending I don't know how they transferred you to me. Well, can you transfer me to the right person? Yeah. And then I go right back to the system again. So by the fifth time, I go, I don't want to. Okay, transfer me to a person. Do not transfer me back. I don't want to go back in the system. I want to talk to a person. And he goes, okay, sir, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to warm transfer you. Well, I go, what?
I know what a warm transfer.
And he goes, I'm going to warm transfer you. And I go, what does that mean? He goes, oh, it just means I'm going to transfer you to a live person. I go, well, can you just say that? And stop giving me the fresh cadaver terminology.
I'm going to warm transfer.
What did you dream about as a child? That's what I want to say to all of them. When you laid in bed as an 8-year-old, is this what you dreamed about? Dude, I think there's so many fucking talented people out there who they just don't fucking... They don't give it they get beaten down. You need 2 years of a language, and if a college sees you got a D-, you're going to fucking fail. Remember that? How they scared the shit out of you?
They keep doing it. They still do it.
Do you know the only reason why I ended up becoming a comedian is because I failed so fucking miserably in high school that I had no other option, because I bought into all of that. I used to have anxiety, like, fuck, I gotta pass my second year of French. I couldn't fucking do it.
Remember worrying about tests?
Yeah, I went to summer school every fucking year for math. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And when I was a freshman, when I was a freshman, my dream was I was going to Notre Dame and I was going to be a lawyer. And by the time I was a senior, I was going to go to Wentworth College, which was a tech school, and I was going to become a carpenter. Just like that fucking nerd in Breakfast Club, totally disrespecting any level of skill that carpentry takes.
Yes.
I'm like, well, I'm a moron. I guess I'll build things. It's just like, no, stupid. And I actually tried that, and I was like, oh, yeah, I suck at this, too.
You weren't good at carpentry.
I was horrible at it. I was horrible. I think I could be good at it now. I just didn't have... I didn't have the mindset to be good at things through learning when I was younger, as dumb as that sounded. I didn't have any sort of stick-to-itiveness. My brain was all over the fucking place. You know, I wanted to get laid. I wanted to get drunk. I wanted to make my friends laugh. And I couldn't push through that to get to, chemise. Mon chemise est joint, or whatever the fuck I was supposed to be saying in French class. Like I couldn't get through it.
I was also bad in math, Bill. I think that's a precursor.
Is that what I was trying to say there with that long pause that went nowhere? I'm sorry. I sucked at math. It was great. Oh, okay.
No, because, one of the questions that I wanted to start asking all our friends when they come on the podcast is, since I teach high school and I'm teaching a group of 10th grade boys, for the most part, I have 30 boys and 6 girls who are, 15 and 16. And it's like, what's your advice? Because I really think everybody keeps making college the end all. Like they've taken any kind of choice out for kids. But,
the two classes they should teach is what is your dream and how to make it happen, and teach you about relationships. And they should teach people how to build up self-esteem and to not take shit and to listen to that voice of when to get out of something like the decade I wasted dating, just having there's no fucking information. Once you teach me how to read and write and add and subtract and all that, it's like, I'm good. I got it. Dude, I was ready to go into the real world mentally. I had enough knowledge by the 6th fucking grade. I never run into fractions occasionly.
Yeah.
Never
I'm
run
with
into
you on
it.
that.
Ever.
But it is good, like I worked with when I did bricklaying right out of high school and college. There would be these kids that from the neighborhood that would come and they would labor for us, just like get us cement and sweep up, and I was amazed at how dumb they were. Like they went to the public school, and I would ask them like, who won the Civil War, and they would go, we did, and I'm like, yeah, who's we?
America.
They would go, yeah, America won. Yeah, but who did we beat? The French. I swear to God.
No, it's astounding. It's astounding the level. This is what I'm finding. I'm not finding that people are dumb. They just weren't taught. Dude,
Well, let me ask you something.
I came in the tail end of geography. Like I actually in 2nd grade we had a book called Greenfield USA, and they actually taught you about the states and all that. My younger brothers, none of that. I did a gig. Comedian Joe DeRosa, and the only reason why I'm naming a name because he actually talked about it on our radio show. He was doing a college in Mississippi. He had no idea where that was on a map. He was going there. And I'm like, am I a control freak? Or the first thing I do if I'm going someplace, if I've never been there, is I look at it on a map. I want to know where the fuck I'm at. I don't know why.
No, I would agree that I do want to know where it is.
First of all, that story confirms every suspicion I had about Joe DeRosa. Okay? So
I really wish he was here to take this pounding right now.
No.
I've surrounded myself with fuck-ups. And because that I felt like, I don't know, it just felt comfortable to be around him. Being a fuck-up, I think I found my crowd. Although I was talking about somebody that today, like I never felt like I really fit in anywhere until I became a comedian.
Really?
Not like I felt like an outsider. I had friends and everything, but it always felt like 80%.
I don't think
Right.
anybody really fits in because I'm sure a lot of people thought that I had it all going on and everything, and I certainly felt like because I didn't know you don't know who you are really. I always felt like I always had friends and lots of all that stuff, but I was like I never felt like I really found my clique.
I think most of those popular dude, if you're playing football and you're the star of the fucking team and you're banging a cheerleader, it's like like you're fitting in. Okay? You're fitting in and but the problem is like you peak. You can't beat that. You can't there is like 9 million websites out there about underage cheerleaders, porno sites and that type of shit. And actually, they're actually 23. But you're living the dream. You're underage too, and you're banging an underage fucking teenager, and you're the star of the football team, and you live at home. You have no credit cards, no mortgage, no stress, no fucking none of that. It's not going to get better than that. You can start your own business. It's not going to get better than that.
All right, and that's comedian Bill Burr. Thanks for stopping by, Bill.
I'm saying, I didn't have any pressure going back to a high school reunion because I was a fucking loser, so it could only go up. Or I would just be what everybody expected.
You were nothing in high school? You didn't play a sport?
No.
Really?
No. I got a D in math in 5th grade.
And it kept you back?
And my dad made me quit baseball, and he had a one for all for one. So
your dad, listen, I told you this.
Everyone had to stop playing sports. And he made such a big fucking deal out of it that none of them we never really played sports again. And then years later, he goes, why didn't you ever play football in high school? I thought you didn't want me to. And he goes, nah, I wouldn't mind. I was like, just classic no communication.
Bill, your father, I told you this afternoon.
No communication.
Your father did the best job that he could, okay?
It was pre-Oprah.
It was pre-Oprah. He didn't have the skills. He gave you everything he could.
What is that from?
No, that's just that's the common mantra. That's what people say.
Oh, that's what people say?
Yeah.
No, my dad's a fucking great guy.
There you go.
There was just no communication whatsoever. I've actually realized what a defensive, complete psychopath I am. And it just kind of overall piece of shit than I was for so long, and the amount of people that I fucking hurt. I really just came to this great place of honesty.
How did you hurt people?
Honesty
Bill?
with
Tell
myself.
me how you're. This is interesting. We're sitting here with the comedian Bill Burr.
Oh, just being in relationships. And,
wasn't your first CD called Emotionally Unavailable?
I was emotionally unavailable.
I love
yeah.
that title. It's a great title.
Yeah.
Difficult to be in a relationship
Yeah.
with them.
And for the most part, not every girl, but for the most part, the girls that I was not faithful, I fucked around. I justified it.
And how did you justify it?
How did I justify it? What's funny? I said, oh, whatever. And that part of your brain that's in the back of you.
But don't you think a lot of people do that,
denied it.
I was surprised girls wanted to get married so young, like even 28. I remember.
No, I totally understand why women want to get married.
But now I do, but not then. Like it never even crossed my mind. Like I'm a comedian. I have my whole life ahead of me. I have to go to Los Angeles and I have to do these things. And what are you talking?
Right.
Get married?
But I've always felt like women, like they always have the out of divorce. It's like you still get sort of like the showcase showdown where you're going to get like a living room set. You get stuff. You get parting gifts as a woman. Whereas a guy, you just end up. I know this isn't 100% true, but like, I mean, what really scarred me emotionally was I worked in a warehouse. I worked the third shift as I was working my way through college. Why I don't? Because they told me that's what the fuck I had to do. So I'm working my way through college, and I used to work third shift at this office supply place. And everyone who worked the third shift, if you weren't a college student, you were either a drug addict or some sort of fuck up, or you were divorced, a divorced guy. And these fucking guys used to go off on their ex-wife going, dude, I'm telling you, don't ever fucking get married. I'm fucking 50 years old. I'm sleeping. I got a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm sleeping. You know what that fucking cunt's doing right now? She's in the house. She's filling those kids up with lies.
And fucking some other guy.
He's fucking some other guy, and she won't fucking marry him. They're fucking married, but she won't fucking marry him because she'll lose the fucking child support.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
Oprah never does shows about
Never.
Ever. Every fucking week. It's like, I got it. This guy's hitting women. We know it's bad. We got it. Just because you're saying it doesn't mean that the psychos, you think some psycho's watching Oprah going, you know what? I gotta stop punching her. He's not. He's fucked in the head. All you're doing is just showing miserable fucking people.
No,
That's it.
She's trying to create community and support.
No, she isn't. She had a horrible fucking childhood.
Yes.
And she can't commit to anybody, and now she's trying to mother the fucking world. That's what she's doing. That's what she does to fill herself up.
Why do you think she doesn't have any children of her own, eh?
Oh, because she got a horrible childhood she had. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk about her, but people
with horrible
people look like she's a fucking god or something. It's like she had one of the most bizarre relationships with a fucking cocker spaniel. It was bizarre.
I have a pretty bizarre relationship with my dog.
Dude, I fucking love my dog, but come on, man. You know?
Yeah. I don't know her relationship with the Cocker Spaniel.
Look, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people on TV that have fucking dogs. I don't know what they look like.
Bill Burr is on the Comedy and Everything Else. Bill Burr from his Comedy Central special.
That's right.
Why Do I Do This? Which
I'm
is
standing up right now.
He got so excited in this last video.
That's when you know I have passion for what I'm saying. I almost hit my head on your beautiful lamp here.
And he's
overhead lamp.
And he's drinking a 32-ounce Budweiser in the can.
24-ounce Bud Tall. I had a very American week this week.
Did you?
Yeah, I had been on the road 6 out of the last 7 weeks.
Did you have lunch with Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah. No, old school America.
Oh,
old school America,
okay.
where he would get pounded and some sort of homophobic thing would happen.
He'd get tied to a fence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In Wyoming.
Yes.
And that would be a holiday. They build a rodeo around him.
Now, Bill, before you go on, I used to feel it a responsibility when I would go on stage at colleges to tell them if this doesn't matter. I would try to tell them, but but it didn't matter to me, and I don't really think it matters because lots of people do lots of things.
No, college is one of the biggest rip-offs
Colleges
ever.
is the biggest fucking scam. And you know why it started
scam
Why it
now.
started to cost so much is because Wall Street got involved in it. In the 80s, Wall Street was like, "Oh, we can start loaning money to these kids and have the government guarantee it." And then as soon as they did that, they could just start raising fucking the tuitions because Wall Street's going to lend you the money.
If I ever have a kid,
people get out of college now with $100. It's normal. Matthew Meyer had $50,000 in debt. He went to a regular college.
yeah, this is my thing. This is all you need to do is you go to a community college or a state college. Unless
Yes.
you're going to be a
Go-
doctor.
Unless-
That's all you need to do. Okay, and then what you do is you read books.
Then you have talent, or you
Yes.
don't.
Books, and you fill your head up with positive thoughts, and you go after your dream, and you don't let life beat you down. That's what the fuck you got to do. You don't have to go, this is the #1 school in fucking business and blah blah. That fucking place is littered with people with that shit. And you come out of there, you're $100,000 in fucking debt. Then you're gonna buy a fucking overpriced house for $500,000. You're done. You haven't even gotten divorced yet. You're done. You're 27 and you're finished. You're fucking finished.
I can't believe people come out of college that kind of in debt, like as if they just got divorced. I'm like, why would you do that to yourself?
They bought a house and they don't have one.
And they don't have one.
They don't have one, and then they come out and there's no fucking job. These kids right now, I swear to God, we should be out there doing benefits for them. It's fucking horrible. It's horrible.
But I would feel I did a show at a high school one time when I was working. We were talking about crazy places.
We're going to talk about what's right about America after this.
Yeah.
We can't just keep bitching, because I got a great story about what still makes America great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What makes America great?
This is what makes America great. Is I did 6 of the last 7 weeks on the fucking road, and I come
Really?
back. Okay, and I'm getting ready to do my little special here, Jimmy.
Oh, that's
special
right.
to me.
Where are you
That's
taping
gonna be
it
the
at,
name
though?
of it. It's special to me.
Special to me. Where are you taping it?
At the Fillmore in
that's right.
San Francisco on December 17th.
Oh,
Great.
2 shows,
fantastic.
baby.
Can you get me backstage?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll come.
Absolutely. You give me a little pregame speech before I go out there?
You're gonna have a party afterwards.
Huh? That's right. Hey, I want to be like
I'll come. I'm
dripping in
serious.
sweat at the end of it, and then you come out like James Brown. You cover me in like a blue sport coat, like a fucking classic comedian from the 80s.
I would love to do that.
Okay,
I'm serious.
I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Are you doing 2 shows or 1?
you could do it on
Two.
my next special.
We have the budget this time.
Really?
Last
Doing
time-
2?
Last time
Right
we only
on.
had 1. And
we,
that
Yeah.
was
we
terrifying.
commiserated about that. The pressure of doing one take.
Yeah.
We both had to do one take for
Dude, your special was great.
Oh,
Me and
Bill-
Nia watched that
Bill,
the other
keep talking.
No, like 3 months ago we saw it. She was like, "Oh, Jimmy's on TV." We fucking laughed our asses off. It was just great to see a real comedian on television.
Oh, isn't that nice?
You weren't jumping around acting like a fucking catchphrase, and he's got that wacky hat. It's the guy with the hat, everybody.
You be
Straight fucking material.
well, my tool belt. You didn't see it when I had
No
my
fuck. Oh yeah. No pegboard behind you. Remember those late 80s specials where they
Yes.
were just pitching the sitcom as they were
Yes.
doing a special, just whoring out stand-up.
Yes.
Fucking whoring. With
I
some-
never. It's so funny, Bill.
I'm going to be
I-
the penguin guy. Every joke I do is about penguins. And I want the set behind me to look like Antarctica.
I never. It's so funny. Like when I knew that was happening, that people were doing that, and I never. Like to me, that was betraying comedy. Like I thought you just get. For me, I didn't even really want to have my own sitcom. I never thought. Like I liked watching Dick Van Dyke and stuff like that. I never thought of myself having one of those shows. I thought of myself of being like George Carlin. Like that was the life you really wanted.
I was an idiot. I watched all
and that's
those.
why
I watched all those specials. I love the sets.
No, I'm
It wasn't until I actually did comedy that I realized how horrific. Dude, so much of my childhood, like the stuff that I watched that I thought was awesome is just like hair metal. The fucking concerts that I went to. Thank God I didn't save the ticket stuff.
I didn't like any of that shit. I listened to black music growing up.
Oh,
Like
Just
but Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, shit like
generally black music, if just whatever.
that. Like that. I'm talking. There was 2
Living
stations.
Color. Did you like them?
This is-
I am the cult of. I am the cult of. Fucking
This
horrible.
is before iPods, and so everybody still listened to the radio. It was before Clear Channel. This is before the Telecommunications Act in '96. So most radio stations were local owned, and in Chicago we had 2 black radio stations, WGCI and WBMX, with Yo Tittle in the middle on your afternoon hot lunch mix. And I love that's all I listened to. And people were listening. That's when people were listening to
classic hits.
People were listening to Led Zeppelin and Rush, and I couldn't give a fuck about that.
in New Orleans.
Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you.
Oh, Rush sucks.
Rush. I don't understand Rush at
People
all.
loved Rush.
Rush is like for if you turn Star Wars into a musical, that's basically what Rush is. It's just fucking it's for people who play like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I hate it. The people who hate it. But we were talking about this before we went on the show. Is that I loved going to dance clubs. They didn't call them discos anymore because that got to be totally uncool, especially in Chicago where they had the disco demolition. So if you liked any
So
kind
you
of
went out to what, the black clubs there? And
No, I would
danced to
go-
that.
I would go to
That
these-
girl is poison.
I would go to a place on 63rd in Harlem called Prime and Tender.
Prime and Tender?
Yes, and we could go on teen night. They would have it on Thursdays and Sundays. And it was I would go there because there was girls. We were talking about this. There was girls there. Why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah. Oh, what were we talking?
I did a show at a tango.
No, we were watching that Dancing with the Stars, looking at the women, going, "Those women are absolutely fucking gorgeous." Like, and you would think, like, why didn't we ever do that when we were younger?
Yes.
Take a dance class if these girls in there, and that was just a classic like guy thing. You go take a tango. What do you do next? Suck some dick, and making it seem like it was this homosexual thing. It was like one of the least gay things you could do.
You could do.
It's like, I'm going for grade A. I'll be respectful.
You don't
here.
have to be respectful.
Pussy.
Yes,
Jesus.
this is.
Oh my God, you said pussy?
Pussy's
I
like
know,
our
I'm sorry.
catchphrase.
I'm sorry, I forget who you hang out with here.
Yeah, I appreciate
Constantly.
you.
Thanks for
I
cleaning
appreciate
it
you
up.
acting like I'm here with my mom.
Let me.
We met doing a
I'm
comedy
trying to be
show.
respectful. I just saw Goodfellas. It was out of respect. It was out of respect, Jimmy.
All
right, so here's my.
you might have insulted him a little bit.
Little bit. Here's
Little bit.
Here's my American story. So 6 of the last 7 weeks I've been on the road. I said that 87 times. So I got to take my girlfriend out. So I just say, fuck this. I've always wanted a Corvette, but I can't afford one. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to rent one. Find out $350 for the day, which is a ton of money for a rental car. Dude, best money I ever spent. Corvette convertible. And the cell phone goes off.
No, go ahead.
Corvette convertible. Driving it around. We drove up to PCH, up to Malibu, got her a lunch and all that type of shit, seafood, watching people surfing. Came flying. Felt like Steve McQueen. All right. Then I drove home, chilled out, and then late at night, went out for some drinks, and then drove through the Hollywood Hills like fucking Jimmy Dean, scaring the shit out of her. It's impossible to drive that car off a cliff.
Oh, because it just hugs the road.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was just
That's some nice American engineering right there. Is that what you're talking about? Good. Now, if they can
Corvette
make
is the best value sports car on the market, because that thing can fuck with all those European cars and all that. And I know people will be like, well, let me tell you something. This one does 3.9, 0 to 16. What does the Corvette do? 4.1? Who gives a shit? It's like 50 grand cheaper. It's just an incredible car, and it's American. It's got that checker flag and the Chevrolet. It was unbelievable. I'm having like withdrawals because I drive a Prius the whole rest of the week. I think that's why even the car seemed even better. And it's like, I already know what I'm doing on my birthday.
We're gonna rent
I'm gonna rent another one of those fucking cars.
Really?
Feel like a goddamn man. Dude, it's the greatest thing you could ever do. But I would never own one out here because the traffic is so bad. The fastest I could get it going was 85 miles an hour. And it was terrifying because there was so many people on the road. And I was in this open cockpit. I felt I was in a biplane. Yet I had jet power. It was awesome. So if you live in the middle of nowhere, I'm telling you, with this recession, how many wives are out there? Get that thing out of the driveway. You can probably pick one up for 30
Here's
grand.
a good idea, business idea. You give out Corvette rides. You rent the car from the rental place, and then you sub-rent it for like an hour. Here, I'll give it to you for an hour for $50. Okay, I would do that. And then you can make
Yeah,
money.
but the amount of technology that I would need to make sure that the guy gave me his real ID
you're right.
and he
Then
just
you'd
didn't
have to,
live with my
you're
Corvette.
right. Yeah, you're right.
You just pitched me the
And then
idea
the
of Hertz.
Yeah, you're right.
This is what you should do. Jimmy, you got his finger on the pulse.
Jimmy
This
has
is
a
what you
lot
should
of good
do.
ideas.
You should make homemade ice cream, right? No, hear me out.
what-
When you start a store,
Oh, they just start a store.
maybe you and a buddy.
You know what?
Call it Jim and Billy's
Bill,
ice cream.
No, isn't that the weird thing about being a comedian? Like you're most people in their jobs. I think people when they get out of college and they get tired of going to nightclubs and trying to get laid, they get married and they focus on their job, and their whole focus is how much money they can amass. Their whole life is about trying to amass money. That's why they get up every morning to go to work.
Right.
But that's not really why comedians get up to go to work. There certainly is money.
Right.
But there wasn't money for a long time, and it didn't involve, and it wasn't. My goal was more about the kind of comedian I wanted to be. And that if I became that person, that kind of comedian, that kind of performer, that all the money, all the other shit would just show
But we
up.
still do that stuff. Like when you see a comic blow up and they're doing like a 3,000 seater and they're like, wow, he did 2 shows. You try to compute how much money they're
that is.
having. And like, you also have those conversations of like, dude, how much money? How much money, if they gave it to you, would you did one movie for $20 million. Every comic says the same thing. Oh, dude, you'd never see me again. You'd never see me again. I would buy, dude. I'd buy a fucking house for $100,000 in the middle of Kansas, and I would just live off of it for the rest of my life. This is the thing about, I do the road a lot, and like, I think there's so many fucking talented people out there. But all they focus on the Jerry Springer crowd that is,
Yes.
like even I do for comedy. You talk about the guy wiping his face with the bag. But there's so many fucking talented people out there who are in these goddamn cubicles, who aren't fucking happy, who like, dude, I mean, like, it's a scary thing. Because basically what you're doing is just stepping off into the abyss when you, like, if you've done nothing but work for other people and you're sitting there building up your resume, it's really that thing where the longer you're in the real world, the bigger risk it is. I mean, I started being a comedian. I was 23 years old. I just got out of college, and it was like, it's not like I walked away from some $80,000 a year job or some shit. I sucked at everything. I was failing. I was great at unloading trucks and making people laugh. That was the only job it was the only job I fucking enjoyed. And I used to say that because that's what the big thing. I wanted a fun job. I washed windows. That was another thing I enjoyed. I liked the idea of being outside. I loved the part when we were driving from job to job. And I was just like,
what do you mean you drove from job to job to unload trucks?
No. When we were washing windows.
Oh.
I was washing windows, right? And I remember that point where it's like, I'm not working. It's the middle of the fucking day. I'm out in the sunshine. I don't have some boss breathing down my neck. We're listening to the radio. Like I always did. Like I liked those jobs where that's why I worked in a warehouse, because I didn't have like this area where they knew I was supposed to be, like the office space. Mm-hmm. I could be he's down there doing inventory. Hey, he's on the forklift. I don't know where the fuck. Like, I didn't like those jobs where you were just stationary, and that's something that really appeals to me about stand up. Is not how much of a cocksucker the club owner is. I only have to deal with them Thursday through Sunday. And then I'm out of there. And if I really don't like them, I don't have to ever go back. That's how I look at it, Jimmy.
But you did go back to Side Splitters. That's the important thing.
I did Side Splitters once. Bobby Jewell.
And we're here with comedian Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Burr from his special on Comedy Central.
Who believes in America.
Who does? That's it. And so that's your American story? That you're running a fucking Corvette?
That's right. I spent some money on myself, and I helped another guy, and I didn't go through Hertz. I tried to rent it through Hertz, the fucking assholes. I couldn't get anybody on the goddamn phone. It's like I'm trying to give you $300, and they made it difficult.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That was another email. I got the email of the person to complain. I didn't get around to that one.
You're really complaining a lot lately.
No, you have to do it.
I know.
You have to do it. We have to go out and grab these fuckers by their ties. Right as they lean over saying, and you just grab it and you just slam it down and have their chin go right up. I was in a bar the other day, and I shouldn't say this. I really shouldn't say this, but he had the real solution.
What was the real solution?
Oh, jeez. I can't say what it was. He was just like.
It wasn't like the final solution, was it?
Not in a, it was a, yeah, but it was in a corporate way. I was talking about corporations and all these fucking guys, all these greedy sons of bitches out there. And he was just like, and I was just like, we got to get some politician in there. Somebody's got the balls to stand up to these people. And he goes, out there. He goes, you got to kill them all. You just got to kill them all. And I was just thinking, well, they are in power. I'm trying to think of a major changeover in power that didn't involve a war. And I can't. What do you think we're going to do? We think we're going to get a Gandhi, some guy in slippers is going to walk up the street and
it ain't going to be
follow him?
First of all, it ain't going to be Barack Obama, you guys. He's not going to stand up to Wall Street. He's going to have marginal gains in everything he does. Just like they're having marginal gains in healthcare, there isn't going to be a true public option. He's proposing universal health insurance that leaves out 17 million people. Do you remember? Do you want to tell that story? You want to tell that story?
What story?
About how we got in trouble in Aspen together? Or do you not want to share that?
I think we already did that. Didn't we do the last time I was on your show?
You weren't on this show.
You did it on the radio show.
Radio show. Yeah, but I told it to you.
Yeah, but this is a new audience. This is the Comedy and Everything Else audience as the public radio audience.
I want to talk about how I don't vote Democrat and Republican anymore past a certain level.
I want to talk about your brother.
I vote for the crazy guy.
You vote for the crazy.
I vote for the crazy.
Are you doing a bit, or do you really feel this way?
No, I vote for the. What I mean by the crazy guy is the fucking Ron Paul was considered crazy. He was the crazy guy. So I guess he was a Republican, right? Is he
yes,
a Republican?
he's still a Republican.
He's a Republican, okay. But that's what I do. I don't go. I go for the guy who goes like, yeah, these corporations are making too much money. These fucking bankers are out of control. Well, minus the F word. Like, I'm like, yeah, exactly. And everybody's like, he's nuts. He's out of his mind. What is he talking about? And then they just wheel some other guy out there. We got to get America back to work. And everybody's like, yay. I don't. And I hate fucking people who keep telling me that I'm wasting my votes by encouraging more people who actually say what I feel is going on in this country due to my YouTube and Wikipedia research.
Did you see Capitalism: A Love Story?
I can't because it's too depressing. I did hear that guy leans into Ronald Reagan and some JP Morgan guy.
James Baker. No, that was his chief of staff at the time who came from
said,
Wall
wrap it
Street.
up, Ronnie.
He goes, hey, you got to pick it up. And Reagan didn't go, okay, I got it, like in a really controlled way. He did it like a subordinate would do to like a little girl would do to her mother. He just goes, oh, okay, sure.
It was chilling.
It was chilling the way he did it. And of course, Reagan was the opposite of what he presented to be. And of course, he was a tool. He's the perfect fucking frontman.
Come on, dude. He's one of the most underrated actors of all time. Everybody talks about Sean Penn and all these guys. He played that character for 8 fucking years, never stepped out of it.
Well, remember, yeah, I just anyway. So, but so you don't consider yourself? What would you consider your political ideology? I'm
just an angry idiot who doesn't read enough, who goes with his gut, and I think I kind of know what's going on. I know
that sounds like George Bush,
huh? Oh yeah, I love George Bush the person. I didn't like his politics, but that look he had.
How can you separate the two, by the way?
Because that look he had on his face, like if any second everyone's going to figure out that I'm a total fraud. Like I just fucking related to that insecurity. When he would talk himself into corners and he didn't know where to fucking. I mean, I just related. I related to the. I mean, I remember when he ran against Al Gore. Al Gore looked like a robot.
Yes.
Like that one, like
yes.
Al Gore would literally, they would be like, you didn't laugh.
A lockbox.
He goes, you didn't laugh enough people didn't think you smiled or laughed enough, during the last, debate. And then he would just be laughing like a maniac. Oh, I remember what he did. Like, they were standing up debating or whatever. And George W. Bush made some sort of point. When he was done making a point, Al Gore walked over to him and he just goes, my turn. And like it startled Bush.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
And Bush looked at him like, dude, what the fuck? Like any normal person was.
Yeah.
And the whole place broke up laughing, like laughing at Al Gore. And then Al Gore just goes, oh, and he started laughing too. It's like, Al, they're laughing at you. At you.
Yes.
Do you think they're so dumb that?
How could he be so inept? How could Al Gore be so
that was
smart?
The thing too, because I voted for that guy who looked like he had coffee breath. Who did I vote for that year? Who was that guy?
Paul Tsongas?
No, the fucking person who everybody said fucked up that election.
Oh, Nader.
Ralph Nader. Yeah, another guy.
But
Another guy
I voted for him.
saying exactly what the fuck I feel is going on. And then everybody's like going, oh, because you voted for him, Al Gore didn't win. No. Al Gore won my state. He won my state. What I did caused nothing, stupid. Al Gore couldn't even win his own fucking state. Tobacco. I grew up. I smelled it. I felt it in my hands. Fucking retard.
Well, we were just talking about Ralph Nader, that he said during that election, we should have 3 parties. That the people that
never
were
happen.
Yes. And the people that were supporting him, that we were giving up our vote, right? They were always saying, you're wasting your vote. And it's like, he's right. We need 3 parties.
Yeah, this is a rule I have with politics. If anybody uses the term liberal or conservative, I don't listen to them. I can't.
Well, that gets rid of everyone who's in the politics, Bill.
It's because these conservatives, these liberals. Well,
you're an idiot. That's like Red Sox Yankees shit. I can't listen to it anymore. It's like, all right, shut up.
I think you're trying to find some pretend middle ground that doesn't exist. Pick a side.
Pick a side.
These people are. Pick a fucking side.
2004. Okay. 2004.
Exactly.
Okay. Who ran? John Kerry. George W. Bush.
Yes.
2 white guys from Yale, both members of the Skulls. It's the same fucking guy.
Well,
Pick
that's what Ralph Nader says.
Yes.
And
Noam Chomsky.
Then I'm on that side.
I'm on Ralph Nader's side. That's the side we're on. I'm with you because I voted for.
All right,
that's the one thing my dad and I.
There's some creepy guy at your door looking through your.
Is it locked?
It's Paul.
Stand by.
All right, let's take a pause.
Hey, you're listening to Comedy Everything Else. I'm Paul F. Tompkins, and we're back with more.
No, it's not back.
It's awkward. I feel like I have to say my name first.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Say my name first? I feel like I have to say my name first.
Yeah, this is Paul Tompkins.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2. Hey, this is Paul F. Tompkins. You're just looking at Comedy. I slurred it a little bit.
It's okay. Just keep doing it.
All right.
Roll
Okay.
tape.
3, 2. Boop. Hey, this is Paul F. Tompkins. You're listening to Comedy and Everything Else with Todd, Steph, and Jimmy.
Okay, now just fucking go nuts.
And we're back with Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen, on Comedy and Everything Else. Paul Bartunik just came back from his job over at the Andy Dick, new vehicle for Andy Dick over at Comedy Central. He had to work late. Paul was going to be here earlier. I was going to have him record because Matthew isn't here because he's working late at the Macintosh store.
A lot of people working.
Yeah, a lot of people working. And
The economy is picking up.
gosh, that's what I hear. It's a jobless recovery. But so, Bill, you had a story you wanted to tell about the lady with the cake.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a beer?
There we go.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
That was one of the most blunt force trauma intros ever. You
Well,
want
you
to
know-
tell a story about cake? Can I get a beer?
Can I get a beer? I think anyone in the fridge, right? What do you want in
Yes.
particular? One of the
I'll
bottles?
try one of the Budweisers.
Oh, look at you go.
Oh,
Look at
delicious.
Jimmy.
It's Monday Night Football night. Bread and circus, baby.
Well, you know what, Bill? I just wanted to mention to our listeners that you have a podcast that you do every Monday morning. Except
All by myself like a complete loner psycho that I am.
I love it.
I've listened to it several times.
You know, I really like that. Just like you have
Very
this
good.
whole stream of consciousness that's going
You have a
on,
real-
and then you just talk about it. And you were talking about how great America is, and that I wanted you to talk about that one. I think you went to a party recently.
I went to a birthday party. Somebody had a birthday party. And, you know, when you go to a birthday party, eventually someone's going to bring out a cake. And everybody's like, oh, my God, happy birthday. Do that stuff, right? So I'm sitting there. I'm on like my third or fourth drink. Drinking beer. I think I was drinking Budweiser that night. Another fucking great American beer that I think is actually owned by a company in Ireland now.
It's now owned by Europeans.
Jesus Christ. Do Americans at least put it in the fucking can?
I don't know, but
Dude,
it's
we
bullshit.
need nationalism to come back on a scary Nazi-esque level without all the genocide. We just need
Are you with me?
in a product way. Get a Corvette, buy a Harley, you know, buy some Sam Adams. That's it. Fuck Budweiser. I'm done with it. I feel like a traitor right now.
Steal some land for an Indian, and you're an American. So go.
That's right. Put some fucking smallpox in the blankets. So anyway, so they bring out the cake, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm drinking. I'm talking shit. I'm having a good time. And all of a sudden, little Miss Busybody, future PTA twat, comes over with this slice of cake. I don't know if she's this person yet. I just think it's a woman with a piece of cake. And
Where's
she goes,
this party at?
oh, it's some fucking bar. And
Bar where?
in L.A.,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So she fucking comes over. She goes, would you like a piece of cake? And I go, no, I wouldn't. And she goes, why not? The fuck kind of a follow-up? I didn't know it was going to be a follow-up. Would you like some cake? No, I wouldn't. She goes, why not? And I looked at the cake. It was blue. I go, because it's blue. She goes, it's not blue. That's just the dye. And she put it down and walked away. Dude, I wanted to get up and just fucking mush that thing right in her fucking face. You know what I mean?
No. Why did you want to push it in her face?
Because, first of all, don't fucking ask me a question like I have an option if there isn't one. It was, here is some cake,
Yes.
fucking eat it. That's what she was saying, like I was her kid.
I'm dropping this cake here whether you want it or not.
Dude, she had high heels on. I wanted to smear it on the floor so she fucking broke her hip. You broke my hip. It's just dye.
You know what's we were talking about your podcast, and that's where Steph heard that story. And I've listened to your podcast several times, and you do have a gift for speaking stream of consciously, and you seem to always, you're like one of those guys who speaks in like a comedian in chunks and stuff like that. And it's always very entertaining. And
A lot of cursing. Gets me through the dry spots.
I had to write down. I started to listen.
My whole act is
When
cursing
Todd-
and
when-
weird faces.
When Todd isn't here, I notice that I swear a lot more, or more noticeable, or maybe it's just because I'm not talking as much, or I'm talking more when Todd's not here. That I notice I was saying fuck all the time, like, oh, shut up. It was making me cringe. So now I actually write notes down to myself, say, don't say fuck so much.
Yeah. I try not to curse
I love
so
swearing,
much,
too.
but
That's the thing.
Oh, it's a release.
I love it. Yes. I love "God damn it." That was my favorite swear word from when I was in high school, for sure.
Oh, I've brought back the C word on my podcast.
Oh, really?
That's a
Cookie?
big one. And they actually have
Crumble?
They actually, I've had a lot of people write to me that they actually, that I've said it so many times and they listen to my podcast that it's seeping into their daily talking. One of it was in the cafeteria. I don't know, I don't know what the hell it was, but they were watching some woman on TV and like this boss was there and some bunch of women. He goes, "Oh, this fucking cunt with their stupid shit." And they were just, I forgot how like shocking. Like that word is literally like 2 degrees below like the N word. I think
It's
for a lot of
1
people,
degree.
it's like 1 degree.
Well,
it really is.
I saw a young comedian. I'll think of his name. Someone said that's the women's equivalent of the N word is the C word, which that I was like, oh, that's such a brilliant observation.
Yeah.
But it really is. When women hear the C word, it's like, am I wrong about that?
But from what I've heard from those comedians who do white people are like this, black people are like that. Evidently, with black women, bitch is
like the C word?
Is way worse.
Really?
Way worse. Bitch is the C word in like no bitch. Well, I can tell you this at the very least, bitch holds way more weight in
More sway.
Yeah,
It'll get you in more trouble.
more trouble. Yes,
Than
more
cunt?
trouble. Than cunt.
Bitch will be like a fight
I think cunt is a bizarre word
to them.
because I don't think that they use it. It doesn't even sound like a black word. Their fucking
barely
words
ever hear
flow.
you
It's
Their
not
words
in any
flow.
rap
That's
song.
really
No.
white.
Right.
It's not in rap songs.
Do you know that there was? You know what? What? That's a end of discussion. That right there, checkmate. Exactly. It's not in rap songs. Not even Eminem.
Checkmate.
That's it. You're right. See?
Paul made that observation very softly, and then I repeated it louder.
Do you know that there was a street? It's not something for my podcast. That there was an actual street back before political correctness, way back in the 1600s, before all the madness started. There was actually a street called Grope Cunt Lane. I swear to God, I saw it on Wikipedia. It's got to be true. And that's where the prostitutes were. They literally just said what it
Really?
was, and then gradually, you know, the people who fanned themselves and actually had perfume, so they didn't smell like an ox back then, changed it to like grape something, you know, whatever. I don't know what it was, but they made so you knew what it was, like ooh, grape blah 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 lane, you know, grope cunt. That's what's going on. There's people down there, they're groping, and that's the area they're going for, and it's a street. I don't. What's the difference between a street and a lane? What's the deal? What's the deal, Jimmy?
Once again, Bill shows us that he knows geography.
He knows geography. Sure. Now, Bill, tell me. I want to have a few questions to ask.
Going to be sports related. Are you going to make me look stupid?
A lot of young comics listen to our show, and what would be your advice to a young comic?
Well, what is the question beyond that? Like, I mean, that's kind of a.
Well, what do you wish somebody would have told you?
Dude, I actually got really good advice.
Well,
I got to be honest with you. I would watch out for bitter headliners that tell you to quit and talk about how if this was 5 years ago, this room would be sold out. If I was your age, I would look for something else.
Yes.
Obviously, avoid those guys. I would say the best advice I got was I actually got recently, was in the last year or so, was from Tom Papa. Tom Papa told me that, you know, anytime he ever made a major decision with his career or in his personal life, he realized that most people's their reaction to it had nothing to do with him. It was all about them. Like if he said, I'm having a kid, or I'm getting married, they would be like, oh, dude, but what about the business? Blah, 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 blah. And it was more like their fear of getting married. I had somebody like today, was talking, he was a comic in New Orleans. And I was like, if someone writes me and asks for advice, I always try to encourage them because I came so close to never having the balls to try this, but I got encouraged, so I kind of never forgot that. And this kid's doing well in New Orleans and wanted to move to New York. Went to New York, just felt it like this is the place I want to be. And he's told the people in New Orleans, they were like, oh my God, it's so expensive. You're going to be homeless and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's just their fucking fear. There's like the people's idea of what New York City is based on like Taxi Driver and Welcome Back Kotter and like I think like what was that the Berkowitz guy, like
Son of Sam?
Yeah, they think it's still like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. It's like it's Mayberry, but like I was when I was in Dallas, I was in an argument with this guy who had never been to New York, trying to convince him that he should just go there and visit.
How old was this guy?
He was like in his 30s,
Never been to
late
New York.
20s, early 30s. And I finally just said, you know what? Don't go. You're right. Why am I sitting here? Yeah, it's already fucking crowded enough. Why do they need you with your already convinced that the place sucks? Basically, that city is the Paris of America. It is. As far as like the culture, the amount of people, the public transportation, the museums that I never went to.
It's the capital of the world. That's what they say, right?
Times Square is the crossroads of the world.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say at Caroline's. Welcome to Caroline's on Broadway.
At the crossroads of the world?
At the crossroads of the world. There's like a fucking M&M store right down the street. That's usually my opening bit there. I can't resist. It's such an easy bit to watch people. It's like you can buy them in a deli right across the street.
You don't have to come to the M&M store.
Yeah, it's not like Brookstone where they have some fucking special knife.
Right. Now, what is Caroline's like? I haven't been there since I taped Caroline's Comedy Hour in February of 1994.
Oh, Caroline, it's great. It's great. It's one of those clubs that, like most New York clubs, I have a really great memory of because once I became a comedian, there was something about New York that drew me there that I just wanted to go. Then I thought the whole fucking city sounded cool. Like I'm on 3rd Avenue and 22nd Street. It just sounded cool. And I really wanted to be a comedian. So Caroline's the great memory I have of that, other than when I first went down there, how hot the fucking waitresses were. They don't dress them like that anymore, which is a big mistake. They now wear like Dockers or something. It's fucking horrible. But I was down, they were wearing like fishnets. Clinton was in office.
Those are good times.
Those were good times. Boy bands. You didn't even have to think in the late 90s. It was fucking tremendous. So, but the thing about Caroline's was they actually headlined me when they had to pull the curtain, and I literally drew whatever the 40 people they could pull off the sidewalk. And Louis Ferranda was always just, Billy, I'm telling you, don't worry, you're gonna be great. I blah blah blah. They actually developed me as a headliner there, which is why now there's other clubs.
Now, why do you think they chose to do that? Do you think Louis had the eye for talent?
Yeah. Yeah, what I mean, wow, you really just set me up to insult myself. No, he didn't. He couldn't tell that I was a piece of shit.
No, I would not think that Caroline's would be that kind of a club. I thought it would just almost be like a theater in a sense where you only get to work here.
They managed guys, and they
really?
they've done a lot of stuff over there. They produced DVDs and stuff. I mean, dude, that's like literally talking like a guy runs a hardware store. He doesn't know anything about hardware. I mean, unless it's the Home Depot extravaganza.
I didn't know they built comedians. I didn't know that clubs ever even did that shit anymore.
No, they did that with New York comedians. What you would do is you'd be doing guest spots, and he would actually take a look at you, and or he'd be passing through or whatever, and he'd see if he caught his eye. He would be, I don't know. You just gradually worked your way in, and then.
How long did it take you, do you think, for them to notice you?
Well,
and
I moved there in '95. Well, I sent him a tape. I still remember because I kept the like back when I had an answer machine. I used to play it every day when I would be depressed when I was living in New York. You got a lot of comedians listening. This is what I used to do when I lived in New York. There's some advice I'd give you. I can give you great advice on cheap food and the food that fills you up. When I was in New York, what I would do, I was big on the Prego and the spaghetti, and I had an old wooden chair that was used as a chair and as my coffee table. I had this old couch from a dental office. It's a long fucking story, and I would just bring the old chair over, and I would just stuff my face with as much pasta and bread as I could possibly. I mean, it's amazing I'm not a fucking diabetic.
Right.
And I would just walk out of the house at 7:00 and just hit every club. And just have people, I already have enough white guys. That was Lucian Starler with her pen light, over at the Improv. And I would eat that. And on the road, I would go to Denny's or IHOP. And I would get the 5-stack pancake. Back when they made them big, it was like pouring cement into your stomach. I would literally eat it at like fucking 10 in the morning. And I wouldn't eat again until like 11 at night. 5 of those fucking pancakes. I almost puked. I was like John Candy in that movie, where he has to eat the gristle too. And I would just be by 2 of them, you're full. And I would force the other 3 down. And I would get into my Dodge Neon and just drive to the next college. And it would, if I had a nooner that day, it would affect my performance. I would be so fucking full. But I could go the whole fucking day. I did everything. I had the little Subway card where you'd get the free Subway. I had this college agent back then, and he would be he'd always call Billy, and he'd say whatever his name. I'm not gonna say his name. He goes, and he had all these gigs in the middle of nowhere. I have a gig for you in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Now, it doesn't pay a lot of money, okay? But if you take it, I can build around it. That was his big thing.
Oh.
Their philosophy was, why do one school for good money when you can do 20 for the same amount of money, which it actually made sense back then. But I got to a certain point and it just didn't make sense anymore, where he was just like,
I did college.
You're either Eddie Murphy or you're not in this market. It's like, there's no other levels.
I did it colleges for 2 years, and that was I had my fill. It did what it was supposed to while I did them.
Worst college gig you ever had, or what the
last one
most
I did.
Painful moment that sticks out.
The last one I did.
Oh, look at you with self-esteem. You literally said, I'm not doing it again.
Yes.
Good for you.
I flew out to do the University of Missouri, Rolla. And
I love those subsets. I'm at the University of New York, Ohio. It's one of their satellite schools.
And I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but I showed up and I had made sure that it was an inside gig. It was a nooner, I knew, but I'm like, as long as it's inside. Oh, it's going to be inside. I get there. No, it's not inside. It was supposed to be, but somebody booked the room.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have...
It was sunny out. We thought we'd have you outside.
So they put me outside. They put me in the quad, right where all the... They go, we're going to... I go, where are the people going to sit? They go, no, we're going to have you go right where all the sidewalks cross. And then you should have a lot of people walking by you in between classes.
I've done this gig. I know this gig.
And I'm like, and I just... it was no point in arguing. I just like blank staring them like, okay, I know if I don't do the show, they're not going to give me the money. I'm here. So I went up and I was like, this is the most humiliating outside noon. Fucking people 10.
What mentally?
10 years my junior. Walking by, fucking sneering at me, like what kind of a loser choice did? Like to me, I got in comedy because you were the coolest guy in the fucking room, not because you're the guy who's going to go out in the quad and make an asshole out of himself.
You should have just made it like grabbed a pizza box and just wrote "Jesus is coming" on it and just act like a fucking because people would barely even look at that.
Well, the weird thing is, you find yourself trying. You find you're like every once in a while I catch myself. I'm trying. I'm actually thinking this will get them. I'm trying to think of what I'll, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then when I went back to the hotel room, I got the check, go back to the hotel. I had gotten a sunburn.
Oh my God.
I got a sunburn doing stand-up comedy, and I was like, this, I'm never fucking.
Well, you know what I used to go mentally for those gigs? I would just always say to myself, in an hour from now, this is all going to be over. I did a gig at Arapahoe Community College somewhere in fucking Colorado, and they had me stand in a hallway. Same setup, but I wasn't outside, where they had me where all the hallways met.
No.
So I'm standing there, and there's like 4 people in these little... They actually had some chairs. There was 4 people sitting there. One of them was mentally challenged, and this popcorn machine, popping popcorn. And behind me was a break room, and there was literally a dude asleep on the fucking couch, facing into the couch. So it was just his ass and his dress socks. And it's literally, they're giving my intro, and you people don't even believe it. This guy's been on Comedy Central. It's like, no, he hasn't. Those guys are rich. He's on television. He must make millions. No,
right.
You don't. So I stood there, and the only thing I could do was make fun of the school and how fucking stupid it was to put me there. Classes let out, and people walked by with a look of like confusion and pity. And I felt like I was going to get beat up, and I was just shitting. And the only thing I was doing, I was shitting on the school for sticking me there. And the only voice I heard was the lady who booked it, going, "That's not true. No, it isn't. That isn't true." She just kept disagreeing with everything I was saying. It's just like, lady, this is the only card I have to play, is making fun of what a loser I am. Do you ever watch The Tonight Show? And when they go, "Here's our comedian for the night," do they cut to a guy standing in a fucking hallway? They don't. The worst one I ever had, I did a nooner somewhere in Kansas, and this was the last nooner I ever did. And I was just like, it was the classic. When you do a nooner, you have to be beyond funny. You have to be so fucking on. Not only was I not on, I would have bombed at 9 o'clock at night. I just was not funny that day. And it was the classic college intro that you get. You know how you say the name last?
Yes.
He's been on this, da-da-da-da. Please welcome Jimmy Dore. They literally, they go like, our comedian is Bill Burr. You might have seen him on Comedy Central. And here he is, right? And nobody even knows there's going to be a show. And I stand up there and I'm off. And it's broad daylight. And I'm just standing up there. And the lady's getting mad because I'm not being funny. And the lowest point of the set is I'm standing there sweating profusely. I mean, I've done like an hour's of material in like 8 minutes. And I'm just up there trying to remember shit I first wrote. This black kid walked by. And he literally walked about an inch from my face and just went, aha! And then walked over, and I had no comeback. I had nothing. It was one of the most fucking humiliating things ever. Dude, I drove out of there. I was shaking. It was, I was like, it was, no, dude, it was beyond traumatic. It was fucking, dude, it was, those fuckers getting waterboarded are the only people that I think could like have mentally, that's, okay, maybe that's too big. Okay. A rape victim. No, you know what I'm saying. Dude, it was brutal. It was brutal because I was so mad. I was shaking. It was, I was like, it was, no, dude, it was beyond traumatic. It was fucking, dude, it was, those fuckers getting waterboarded are the only people that I think could like have mentally, that's, okay, maybe that's too big. Okay. A rape victim. No, you know what I'm saying. Dude, it was brutal. It was brutal because I was so mad. I wanted to fucking punch someone, but I couldn't do anything because I wasn't funny. The old me would, you know, or the on me would have been able to at least be funny in that situation. I had nothing, and I was standing. They had me standing. There was these two fake plants on either side of me, and above me was this. You know, remember the staircase on the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
That see-through thing. That's what it was, and it was like metal. And as people walked down, you could hear them coming down. This really is not. We shouldn't be telling these stories to comedians who are like coming up. Because,
no, I just want people to know because people. I remember when I started comedy, like if you, comedians who didn't do colleges thought that colleges were like you were working on Wall Street. Like, oh my God, he's doing colleges. This guy, he's doing 50 colleges this year. And I'm like, that's going to be one of the most miserable motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, ever. And
you're never going to, it's never enough money. It's never, at the end of the year, you never go, thank God I did that shitty college.
Well, the thing about it is, they're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You got to spend $300 to fly out there.
Right.
You know, you got to and from the airport, wherever you live. That's another $100 out the window. Yes. And then you got to spend another $100 on food and a rental car. You got to pay your manager, your
20%.
Agent. Yep. Your manager, your agent, and then taxes. You end up, you basically, you fly to like fucking South Dakota to make like $275.
It's not that bad, but it's.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let's, for instance, like an average college gig for me would be around $1,200. One show.
Which sounds unbelievable.
People go, oh my God. Yeah, that sounds unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to take out all those. You have to buy the plane ticket. You have to rent the car. You have to
do plane ticket alone. You're down to $900.
Right.
Then
and aren't
food,
you usually...
rental car, you're down to $800. Back and forth to the airport where you live, you're down to $700.
12 and 20% to your fucking
off the gross. Most of them take it off the gross.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would always deduct.
Yeah, but so many comedians are so fucking stupid.
They let me,
that's $200, $240. You would have paid $240 off of that.
Yeah.
Now you're down to like what, like $600, $600.
$600.
And you haven't paid your manager yet. Who's gonna? If you're an idiot, will actually charge 15% like you're on TV rather than 10%.
Right.
For an appearance. That's how it works out there for you people not in show business. They get 10% for an appearance, 15% for a movie or TV.
Well,
and you still haven't paid the government. And they're going to come in and lop fucking 30% of that out of there.
I have a question for Bill. As far as like MCs go, do you have any tips for an MC?
I hated MCing. I hated MCing because my jokes were always long. And I also always had like the security blanket joke that I started with. I had my opener. So I would do my opener. And so the first part would always go good. But then that middle part where I just had to jump into the middle of my act like, and as I was saying, you know, I'd start with a callback or something. Oh, I bombed so bad one time at the Providence Comedy Connection. In fact, nobody did well that night. I actually I went out the back of the club. And this couple was walking by, and I knew I shouldn't have listened, but I had to. And the girl evidently had never gone there before, and it was just a bad show for everybody. And she was like, "Is it usually like that?" And the guy was like, "No, usually it's funny." Man, that redheaded kid sucked. And then I had to go to work. It was like 10 days before my next gig. So that just played on a loop in my head.
Oh.
That redheaded kid sucked. That redheaded kid sucked.
The best the best medicine for a horrible show is another show. You you got to do another show and like it washes it away. It gets rid of it almost in a
Immediately.
sense. But if you don't do another show, that's the thing. It's just sitting on you like a blanket.
I bombed one time. I did this gig. It was a 2-story bar. I've never seen anything like it. I was on the second floor, and they had instead of windows. They had, because it was the summertime. It was somewhere in New Hampshire, and across the street there was a carnival. You know that big Viking ship?
Yeah.
That ride was across the street, and it literally looked like it was going to come through the window. And I was standing there eating my balls. But it was a polite crowd. No, the only thing I heard on stage was people screaming on the ride. I was just up there. Yeah, my dad was crazy and was getting nothing, and all you heard from across the street was, these people going back and forth.
Now, Bill, at some point it all turned around, and
At some point, yeah.
when did you notice it starting to turn for you, Bill?
About 9 years in. No, I started doing well, but like to stop sweating profusely and moving back and forth constantly on stage. Dude, my early stand-up.
You were a walker? You walked on stage?
You would have thought
he's a
somebody
walker.
had that one of those sniper
You were
red
trying
dots.
to dodge bullets on stage?
I can't even believe I got any laughs. It was so bizarre. There was no reason for the movement. I would be standing there going like,
You're not alone,
So
Lana.
my dad was crazy when I had 4 brothers when I was growing up, and I would just be pacing back and forth. And when I would watch the tapes in how it felt like when I was on stage, when I would stop to pause for the laugh, it felt like I was standing there for 10 seconds and I would really da-da-da. And then immediately I would just start walking again, and like I can't even watch them. They're so fucking.
That's hilarious.
They're so horrific, and I worked totally clean, and everybody was telling me that I was on the fast track because I was so terrified of getting heckled. I didn't want to offend anyone in the crowd, and I also wanted to kind of make sure that I knew how to write a joke. But at the end of everything, it wasn't. What happened was when I would get heckled, then I would talk how I normally talked, and I felt like me. And I would stop walking, and I would just feel like myself, and then I would go back into more like this like I had this bit about who was the first guy to ever give the finger. That was like one of my big bits, and I was so proud that I was able to get a laugh, and at no point during the bit did I ever give the finger. I never had to give the finger, and I still got. Oh, dude, I was right on the Seinfeld route. I was going that route. I swear to God, I was going down that road, but it wasn't.
And
who
when
I
did you
was.
and then
What was the shift?
What happened? Well, this is what happened. This is really what happened was I was born a nice guy, and then a bunch of shit happened to me that eventually was slowly making me an angry guy, but I didn't realize it. And like what? I'll spare you the details, but the shit that happened to me caused me to, when I would meet people, was I would figure out their personality and then adjust myself accordingly so there'd be no confrontation. So everybody fucking loved me. But that wasn't who I was. I was an opinionated asshole that I am right here. So it just took a while for that to come out. And, you go into the world and you're really nice and trusting and you fucking give somebody $50 if they ask you for it. You start getting fucked over. And what happens is the anger, it starts coming to the surface. And then besides that, everyone cursed in my family. We all, except my mother didn't. But it was just how we talked, and I don't consider I respect guys who work clean. I think it's a great thing and all that. But I think that that just because somebody says fuck doesn't mean that they don't know how to write a joke. I just think it's a choice. It's a choice, and I think it works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. But I don't know, it's kind of like that alternative comedy versus regular comedy. Every time I read an article about alternative comics, they always have to shit on mainstream. I just don't get it. It's like, dude, I've been to alternative comedy shows. It's just like a regular stand-up show. 2 guys are really good, and everyone else is trying to get to that level. And then there's always that one guy where you're like, who the fuck ever told you were funny? Why are you in this business? But every time they write articles, they'll be like, this is an alternative comedy. This isn't some guy at the local comedy club where this is a direct quote, working on 5 minutes of airplane material for his next Letterman set. Like we're sitting in there like it's still 1988. It's like
Jesus.
updated. It's say, maybe doing a side effect joke or whatever the hacky fucking thing is. But and then you go down there and they're all kind of doing the same shit.
Well, when you
Oh
say
my God!
when you say go down there,
and now you're doing hacky material, but you're playing an instrument underneath it, so now it's not hacky, or you have a fucking easel. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
I think I know both those guys you're talking about.
No, it's a bunch of them. No, I'm not
so
singling
too.
anybody out. I'm not
making a
singling
joke.
anybody out.
I know, I'm making a
I'm not
joke.
singling anybody out because
I'm
I'm just
making a
saying
joke.
though. I saw a lot of people down there.
Where are these?
Going,
When you say
I know
down there,
that joke.
when you say down there, where is down there?
Back when I used to do alternative rooms, that was something else I did. Like I did white rooms, I did black rooms, I did all the rooms I could possibly do because I thought that would help you as a comedian. So
Well, you were right about that because a lot of people, I think it narrows. I think it's 6 of one, half of the other. I like the fact that I came up in the Midwest and worked the road right from the get go. My first gig was on the road, and so. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Like,
and that's one of those things.
And then
where
you learn
if
to-
you do the road too long, that'll hurt you.
that'll hurt you. You got to be
If
careful.
you just
about,
work New York City,
It'll hurt
You're
you.
going to have an hour of subway and
Yes.
homeless jokes. If you just do alternative rooms, you're just going to have an hour of that shit. And it's just like, I got a lot out of like listening to Pryor growing up, where it was just like this guy could not have had more of a different background than I did. But I understand what he's talking. He is explaining how, to this day, I've never been to a crap game in the back of a fucking bar in Peoria, Illinois. But the way he told the fucking story, you got what was going on. So, that's like, I've never understood that. Like, if you watch like a movie that's about some shit that you don't know about, like the movie, by the end of it, you get what's going on, right? I'm so fucking stupid. I got halfway through that I literally forgot what my point was. I think it's cell phones. I really think it's cell phones. I never had this memory problem.
Well, they say that they do cause cancer now in your brain. That there have been studies, but they're conflicting other studies. But
Dude,
it's not good to hold your cell phone to your ear. And I used to do it for hours and hours and hours.
I'm
going
to stop using it.
I would be
swear,
sitting in my, on the road.
You know what a cell phone is? That's our generation's like atom bomb. Where like, do you remember when they detonated the atom bomb?
People used to go out and watch it.
And then people would walk towards it and
Yes.
like, yeah, all those guys are dead. They're going to
Yeah.
be showing pictures of us. We're going to be like that with these fucking things. I got to shut this off. I'm radiating my nuts right now.
Well, what was your transition? When did you decide that it was okay not to be the nice guy? That it was all right for you to be yourself and let your anger bubble out?
It was like, well, it's not like I was like, I'm going to curse now and I'm going to be
Right.
angry. It was more like I started telling stories about growing up, and I just started telling stories, and then I started telling them more how I told them before I became a comedian, where I was in a bar or whatever,
Talking to your
or
buddies.
a warehouse, and I told them the way I told them there, and look, I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely nights where I do curse too much, but yeah, I'm not. That's not. This is another thing with like working totally clean is I also feel that there's a thing that where when someone's like if you ever have like a private gig and they go, we want you to work totally clean, they don't just mean don't curse, they also mean don't
make anybody uncomfortable.
yeah don't
That's what they mean.
don't have any point of views
don't
that
do
goes
anything.
against so
How do you do that as
Don't
a
talk
comic?
about religion.
you get a sweater and you get puppets or you talk about food and or dogs. It just becomes like I don't know what it becomes like, but I don't want to, the formula of my act is basically starting down a fucking road and you think I'm going to hit a brick wall at the last second I take a left turn. I deliberately set up jokes that it seems like I'm going to say something either racist or misogynistic, anti-American, or what, just something that's going to make these fucking drunk people shut up. And they go, what the fuck's he going with this? And then the end, it's like, oh, he went over here. He thought he was going over here, and he went over there. That's basically what a joke is. Holy shit. I thought it was over here. It's over here.
Right.
I'm in the wrong part of the room. That's all it is. For me, anyways.
Well, Bill, I'm glad you worked that out and you have a very successful career. We're all proud of you, and we all can't wait to see your special. I will come up there
In
December 17th.
December 17th at the Fillmore, San Francisco.
That's almost exactly the same day mine was December 6th.
Where'd you tape yours?
Fillmore.
Oh, you did it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna
gotta
build
give
a-
me the scoop, man. What is?
You should build a little stage out in front of it like I did. That's my advice to you.
Oh, the runway.
Yeah, it wasn't a runway. It was more of it wasn't thin. It was still rectangular. And but it was just lower and closer to the stage, so it had a theater feel. You saw it.
Oh no, it was awesome.
It had a theater feel, but it's
Just because you're closer to the audience.
yeah.
Hey, this, you know what that reminds me of? The last thing I'll say, because I really have diarrhea of the mouth here, but this is a clip. If any of your internet nerds who listen to the show can find this clip, like that runway thing reminded me of one of the great visual gags I ever saw. Jerry Lewis. I was watching this when I first started stand-up. I came home late at night. Me and my dad were watching TV, and they were doing this whole thing on Jerry Lewis. And he did this thing where he had just broken up with Dean Martin, and he got his own show. And like the way they're framing it, it looks like a nightclub. Like when you look, you see the sparkly, curtains, the band's playing, the theme song, and you just see the back of the heads of the people at the first couple cocktail tables. And they go like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the show, Mr. Jerry Lewis." And you ever see when the runway, you don't walk down the runway, like the person stands at the front of the runway and it comes out and meets the crowd?
Yeah.
So they had him standing there, dude, and he comes through the curtain. He's wearing a tuxedo, and he is standing there with this look of arrogance on his fucking face, like he is the greatest human being that has ever existed. Beyond Jesus is the look on his face. And I'm thinking in my head, why would he do this? Everyone's sitting here looking like, is he going to be good? Why would you have that arrogant look on his face? And the fucking thing comes out right to the crowd. And right when you think it's going to stop, it just keeps going right into the front crowd. And he just does this great pratfall. I don't know how I didn't see it coming. It's and me and my dad were like half asleep at like 1 a.m. Fucking bit was 40 years
What is
old
this
at
on?
this point. I don't know what it was. It was the Jerry Lewis show. If any of your guys can find this. Dude, the bit was like 40 years old at that point when we saw it, and we just bursted out laughing at 1 a.m. And I remember thinking like that is a funny son of a bitch.
No, Jerry Lewis, definitely lots of talent. If you ever saw The Party, or no, he was the Bellboy. That was The Party was Peter Sellers, but the Bellboy, I think that's the name of the movie where he's a bellboy, and like the first 10 minutes of the movie, he doesn't even speak. It's just him being funny at a party, trying to be a bellboy. And it's just, he's at a party at this big hotel, and he has to go in and deliver something, and it's just, he's knocking shit over, and and he doesn't really have a line, and it's just funny.
He's awesome. And you know what made him even funnier is my mother couldn't stand him. He's just, he's immature. It's ridiculous. Just makes it even. That's like my girlfriend's mom came over and we watched, what's that Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie where they were stepbrothers.
Right.
And she just does not like that kind of humor. So the fact that she was there watching it made it even funnier. When he puts his balls on the dude's drum set and she's just sitting there going, "Really? This is a comedy? This is a comedy?" Dude, I was like fucking slumped over the couch. That was brutal. So anyways, I'm glad you had me on the show, man. I had a great time.
Bill, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. We're all going to look for your next special. We go to BillBurr.com.
BURR, yeah.
Bill Burr, BURR.com. And where are you going to be next?
Well, this week I'm going to be at the Improv in Washington, D.C.
I'm going to be there. We're going to be at the festival. You're going to be at the Improv.
We're going to have to hang out.
Allison is she still the manager there?
As far as I know, she is. So
Last time I was there, she was a manager. Very nice.
We added a show on Thursday.
Two shows on Thursday. You're that popular in D.C.?
In D.C., they love me.
Oh, that's nice, Bill.
Huh? The old crass guy.
Bill, I am as impressed with your success as I am jealous of your. That's saying something.
Come on, man.
No, that's great that you sell out. I mean, I still go to these clubs, and I don't have that kind of following. I don't have a second show on Thursday yet. I mean, it's coming. Don't fucking kid yourself. I'm gonna make a leap right to the theaters. I'm not gonna fucking wait.
Yeah, dude. No,
I'm gonna do like Jim Gaffigan. I'm gonna do.
Come on, man. You got the pop in politics with that insane thing. Where you got the Nixon. Sorry,
Nixon.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Nixon. Did I just say same thing? Not right there. See what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not the same.
Hey, we just started watching Frost Nixon last night. And I got to tell you, if you haven't seen it, fucking interesting. I've had it on my Netflix for a couple of weeks at my house.
This is the actual interviews.
No, this is the movie.
The movie. I saw the movie. It was great.
Yeah,
We just started it.
I'm about a quarter into it. I'm like, I didn't think I would like this. I thought it would be boring, and what's the big deal? It is a great fucking movie. I
Yeah.
can't wait. See, I'm swearing more again.
All the strategy. That's because I'm here.
Oh, maybe.
I do. I really want to. I want to taper down the cursing, but it's just such it's a release.
But you know what? It's
I
like in
it.
every field, you can't swear. You know, like I'm a teacher and I'm really not allowed to swear, and I'd like to. So I think it's kind of it's fun and it's breaking the rules and it's free. So why not?
The rule has already been broken. At this point, you're just crass, and I think I sound like a moron a lot of the times. But there's no. How long would you last with that job? You know, with kids.
As a teacher?
You just see somebody.
No, I would have got
What the fuck
fired.
are you doing? And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what are you going to be?
Oh,
You said the F word.
When at Catholic school, I had
They would love it.
My English teacher swore his head off in Catholic school. His name was Mr. Croc, and he was the crazy.
Mr. Croc.
He was the crazy.
All right, that's too easy.
He was
Okay.
the arty English literature teacher who made you read The Brave New World, and it wasn't on our reading list. And he made you, and he taught you what it really meant and what soma. It was really, and he wore all crazy clothes. You had to wear a tie.
I had one of those guys in college.
Yeah, so that was him.
He had a bandana and he smoked and he cursed a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
just thinking like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. He wanted you to think that.
This is life, man.
That's exactly what-
something.
Yes.
Something is happening here.
Yes. And he would tell us, I don't care if you fucking study for this test or not, because you know what I'm going to be doing in July? I'm going to be out on my boat banging my lady. And I never forget. That's what he would say.
You know what I think a lot of those guys were? Like they could never let go of the fact that they weren't the cool guy in school.
Yes.
Either that or they wanted to be comedians and they just never did it. Like this dude, like one time he brought a guy in to like, you know, analyze something that we had read, and all of a sudden he's just chain smoking. Like it was obnoxious.
Really?
He should have just literally had two going at once. That's what I do, man. I read literature. I say fuck and I smoke and we talk about it. I'm not watching TV, man. Oh, and I bought into it. Oh, why did I buy into it? I thought it was fucking awesome.
All right, well, I want to tell everybody, come see us at in D.C. this week. Bill Burr will be at the Improv. I'll be at that D.C. Comedy Festival.
BensonBall.com.
The BensonBall.com.
Who else is going to be out there? Any other?
Yeah, Todd Barry's coming down.
Jesus Christ.
Patton Oswalt will be there.
Jesus Christ.
Sarah Silverperson.
Sarah Silverperson.
Jesus.
I have
Jesus.
Nick Thune will be at. Kyle Kinane. I have a thing. Jen Kirkman. I have a thing somewhere. I don't have it in front of me. This is off the top
Alan
of my
King.
head. Alan King is going to come down and
Alan
do a
King,
set.
Yep. Who's that guy? The guy who did the first. Robert Klein.
Robert Klein. Robin Williams might stop by.
Hang out in the back.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to. They sent me a questionnaire, and I wanted to read it before. You can go if you want.
Yeah,
But
well,
they sent me a.
No, I've just become fascinated with the dent in your laptop.
Oh, that's how I met Matthew, the guy who was our original.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I dropped my thing and it didn't work, and I went into the Mac store. And
What did you drop it on? That's such a weird place for the dent.
I dropped
like
it
a
and
corner.
it hit like I don't know.
Corner
what
of maybe something.
I don't know what it hit, but it. I needed a new thing, a whole new thing in the side.
You guys have this.
Whoa, easy,
Oh my
Bill.
God.
Easy,
Oh my
Bill.
God.
Easy.
Seriously, we started talking technology and what is going on?
You went limp.
Wow.
The mic.
You guys have the silver colored laptops. These are the better ones.
No.
The silver ones. That's a
Silver
MacBook
ones?
Pro. I think that it's got Pro in it.
Got to be better, right?
Okay, here's my. They asked a bunch of questions, which I enjoyed. They said if you stick around DC for another week, Bill, you'll get to see Bill Cosby receive the Mark Twain Prize for comedy at the Kennedy Center. Were you a Cosby kid growing up? That's one of the questions they asked. Were you a Cosby kid growing up?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, who wasn't, right?
Way back, Fat Albert when he had that, and what was the one where he had the basketball popcorn machine?
I don't remember
Some
that
sort
one.
of kid show. He had a couple. Like
He was at an electric company, I think, for 2 years.
no, that was the Driving Miss Daisy guy.
Morgan Freeman.
No, he was
Morgan
also.
Freeman.
No, Bill Cosby was also.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
was-
when he had the big Super Mario mustache.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was cool as hell in the early '70s, but then
Well,
before
here
he
was
became the father figure and all that. But
Here's
yeah.
my response. Of course, I was a Cosby kid growing up. My brothers and I would sit around and listen to his albums. We actually would. And we all loved him and couldn't get enough. The thing that appealed to me that was, even though he came to prominence in the midst of the civil rights struggle of the 60s, you would never know it by listening to his comedy from that period. And you know what? I like a guy with the courage to not talk about stuff. And then there was a period in the 80s that I felt that his material lost some of its punch, and I drifted away from his comedy. But now that he is a gazillionaire, Bill's new comedy is more fun. He travels the country ignoring the root causes of poverty and crime, and instead uses his spotlight to bitch at poor blacks for not overcoming racism and a rigged economy as well as he did. I find this to be as funny as shit ever. I don't know about you guys.
I totally do it differently.
Really?
First of all, I think Bill Cosby himself is arguably the best special of all time. I put that right up there with Richard Pryor live in concert. It's a fucking masterpiece.
No, he's a great comedian, no doubt about it.
Absolute masterpiece. And I think I heard a lot of his stuff is really like political right now. And I think,
Really? His stuff he's doing now?
You know what I'm basing it on? I based it on
He's
watching what
bitching
Chris Rock said in that Seinfeld documentary.
Yeah.
2.5 hours killing, edgy shit.
I'm going to tell you what. My brother went and saw him in Vegas about a month ago, and it was very disappointing to him.
Well, look, to give the guy a break, he's like 70.
No, I am giving him a break. I'm just letting you know. And then when Chris Rock said that, I was thrilled too. And I'm like, well, if he's really bringing it that hard and he's got 2 hours of new shit that blew away Chris Rock, don't you think he'd be fucking putting it on a DVD and letting people hear it? Why isn't he fucking putting that stuff out?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he's worth $500 million.
I think that's why I think it's
Dude,
weird.
come on, man. That guy's been through a lot
Instead
of shit. That guy's been through a lot of stuff.
We all
lot
have.
Of stuff,
His
lot of
pain
stuff.
is ordinary. We've all been through a lot of shit.
Dude, his kid got killed.
Yeah, well, so did mine. I don't have kids, but if I did, it would have got killed.
Jeez, Art, really being hard on the guy.
Did you think I had a kid and I got killed and I just didn't tell you?
I thought it was an abortion joke.
Oh, no. Oh, well, then I have had a killed kid. No, what?
Not by me.
No, what I'm saying. No, I really find it weird that instead of speaking up against the system that entraps the people, he would rather stand up against the people who are entrapped in the system.
Jimmy, it's his act.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about his act. I'm talking about when he gives his speeches and stuff. I'm not talking about his comedy. I'm talking about that's his like big thing. His big thing now is to
take responsibility for yourself. I think he's got a great message.
Okay, well, I think we could disagree later. But it was nice having you on the podcast.
I got to be honest with you. I've never listened to one of his speeches. I, for some reason, feel like I know what he says.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's saying.
No, I don't. I just, I'm really trying to call myself out lately. Just the amount of times that I will argue something, and then when I really just sit there and be like, did you read anything about it? Did you watch it? What happened? What happened? What was this with some fucking kid in a weather balloon? I totally missed that whole thing.
You missed that?
Jimmy wants to talk about that,
You know
too.
what it is? This is what I watch sports. I don't watch pregame, and I don't watch postgame, and I can't watch those shows with 10 whores in a house. I can't find any news that isn't going to, at some point, have to give in to the easy ratings of showing some chick get out of a fucking car and show her twat. So I don't watch any of it anymore.
Where do you get your news from?
That's a good question. When I walk
you listen
through
to people?
airport terminals, and I see it on TV for like half a second. I kind of get. I mean, what are they really telling you, Jimmy? Well, what really happened there? Some guy lit a balloon up.
I'm going to tell you to watch Dylan Radigan's new show on MSNBC.
Bill Maher's show I like.
There you go. Bill Maher, by the way.
Breaking Bad, I like that show. I used to like Inside the NFL when it was just Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani. I like sports broadcasters way more when they weren't trying to be funny. That's why I think John Gruden is the greatest addition to any sort of like losing John Madden, but at least just getting John Gruden, like another football guy. Like John Gruden, excited about the game, could talk the game. It's so much better than, Tony Kornheiser sounded like a guy who won a contest. He was just like, is this the greatest field goal kicker ever? Everything was is this the greatest ever or the worst ever?
What is it about Dan Dierdorf that bothers me?
Dan Dierdorf played line too long, that he's got that thing with the helmet pushed down so he always looks angry.
Yeah.
And also, some of the stuff he says annoys me because I think he has to know the game better than that, and he's just going for the easy. I'll tell you, the Patriots are really missing. What the fuck? The fucking guy we traded to the Raiders was shutting down Sanchez the whole first half. They have one play where Sanchez has like 10 seconds to hold the ball, and then all of a sudden we're missing whoever I can't even remember his fucking name. The guy we traded out to Oakland, and it's like, really, because of that one play? Were you just waiting to say that Was that on a cue card?
Well,
you know better than that.
Dan Dierdorf does that thing where he speaks in double and triple negatives. That bothers me. Like he'll go, if I'm the head coach, I'm not so sure that I don't come in here and do what? You're not so sure that you don't do so, or you're sure? What? Just tell me what you want to do. Don't try to layer it in these 3 double negatives. Where if I don't come in here first, and I'm not so sure, I don't just come down here, and I don't just what? Tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah. No, anyway. I tapped out like when someone was like, I was watching baseball highlights and someone hit a home run, and in the middle of the guy hitting the home run, somebody screamed out, "You're my boy, Blue," from Old School. And I just said, all right, I'm done. Like, I don't need it to be
Bill,
enhanced.
that's a kudos. I'll give you a kudos to that observation if you will give me kudos at my Dan Dierdorf observation, because I thought that was pretty fucking right on, and I was hoping to get a little bit more.
Oh, sorry, I did the comedian thing. Now I'm going to say my funny thing. No, I thought it was great. I was like, wow, I never noticed that. Why didn't I think of that? God damn, this Jimmy's funny. Now I have to say something to make myself feel better.
Thank you, Bill.
There you go. How is that? Why didn't we ever take tango classes? Here's one for you.
Why didn't we? You tell me, because we were already getting laid doing comedy.
I'll tell you. If I knew the broads were that fucking hot, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't have gone down there and fucking took one of them tango classes.
If I'm Adrian Colesbury, I'm not so sure I don't go in there and I don't get out of chair and I don't come down there and I don't.
Dude, there's one for the what is it? Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ. Jesus, that was the official end of my white guilt. If that guy, he can't even hear what he's saying. And he still has I mean, literally sounds like that. My buddy said he sounds like he has a piece of salmon in his mouth. Wait a minute. It's horrific.
Now I'm going to think that every time I hear him.
You know what? That was during the years when I kind of stopped watching sports, so I'm not up on Shannon Sharp.
You have to watch the guy. You can't understand. I don't get it, because he was hilarious when he was a player, and
I know who Shannon Sharp is. He played for Green Bay.
He used to talk shit, and you could understand what he was saying on the sideline. I think his tie is too tight, and the oxygen's not getting to his tongue.
What do you think about Rush Limbaugh not getting that franchise?
Rush Limbaugh not getting a franchise? Come on, NFL's too smart to do that. They're a very smartly run business. They don't need that guy coming in there causing a commotion.
Yeah, what are they? Exactly what I thought.
That's all it is. That has nothing to do with like left-wing, right-wing politics.
You walk around calling the fucking president a African American. I don't think NFL football is going to embrace you.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Right? Okay. Bill Burr.
They don't need that. Yeah, why don't we get Marge Schott in here?
Yes.
Bring her back up.
Yes. Now, why is it that baseball has the antitrust exemption, but football doesn't? And football's more.
I don't know what that.
How is it that football?
What is antitrust? We don't trust people.
Yes, if they have a monopoly.
I'm for trust.
They have a monopoly. They can restrict trade. That's why the Kurt Flood thing that happened in '74 when he
started free agency.
He tried. Yeah, well, he's tried, and they still fucked him over, but. They still have an antitrust exemption, just like health insurance companies do, and not a lot of people know that. That's why there's no competition in health insurance. But listen, we're up against a hard break. Bill, you've been here long enough.
All right, you're going to warm transfer me out to my car?
I'm going to warm transfer you. Thanks for being our guest, Bill. I hope you had a good time. We'd love to have you back. And have a good thing.
All right.
He has to do a drop-in.
Can you do
I'm sorry. I have to have you say you're listening to comedy and everything else.
I forgot that I'm also recording this.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Hang on a second.
And you listen to comedy and everything else. Hello. This is Bill Burr. You're listening to comedy and everything else. Isn't that awesome?
All right, Bill. Now just have fun with it, Bill.
That wasn't enough? Oh, you're joking? Hey, man, you're listening to comedy and everything else, motherfuckers.
Say your name.
This is Bill Burr.
All right, Bill, thanks.
All right.
Coming up, one of my old friends here from Hollywood, Bill Burr. Good buddy. Very funny guy. He's originally from Boston, but I think he was in, he was in New York on the 9/11. And he had some observations along with a lot of other stuff to talk about. So here's hilarious comedian Bill Burr.
I be honest with you that I didn't watch any of the 10-year thing because I don't want to I don't need to be reminded. We'll never forget it. And I can't watch that footage. The worst thing I've ever seen. And then the only thing I didn't like how they just kept walking up to all the victims. And it's like, why are you making them talk about I don't want to watch these people crying.
Right.
I don't get like, so it's like, what's intervention?
Right.
You know what? Watching this like entertainment to watch a family be ripped apart by some former prom queen who's now smoking meth, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So, I don't know. I think every nation does that to a certain extent. They have their commercials about why they're awesome and why they need to go over and kill these other people.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know. Who the hell knows? I give up.
Okay, you don't have to give up, Bill. Okay, so that's me encouraging Bill not to give up. You don't have to give up, Bill. But then the conversation shifted, and we started talking about the new show on NBC.
What, Whitney Cummings' new show?
Yeah. You know, nothing against...
Dude, you got to root for that fellow comedian and the whole staff of writers. What do you want to see? More Real Housewives of Rhode Island? How many of those yank-back-faced whores can you sit there and watch?
Bill,
with their sad lives where they married for money? My girl was watching one of those shows today. I came in. These people are so lonely. It's the weirdest sort of lonely state where you're totally lonely, yet you don't have a care in the world. You just charge anything you want.
Yeah.
It's still miserable.
Yeah, it's
weird, you know? They're like in their 50s and they're still trying to look bangable. It's really something wrong with you. It's over.
I don't,
Female version of Brett Favre's last 8 football seasons. Just like, enough. Hang them up.
No, I've seen lots of women in their 50s who are very bangable. It's just that it seems like the ones on those shows, for some reason, go for the like grotesque kind of plastic surgery. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the guys, like the lip thing. They have.
You know what's the worst thing is when you're women like that. Doing stuff. I can't. The funniest thing is when a couple of girls walk by them who are in the prime of their lives.
Yeah.
And it's just devastating.
Yes.
Why would you? That would be like you or I competing with some guy in his 20s in like a pull-up contest. Why would you? It's over. Other than that P90X guy, it's not happening.
Yeah.
He can still do a bunch of pull-ups.
Yeah.
But if you look at him, you look in his eyes, he's out of his mind too.
Bill, didn't I see you say something? They actually sent me something from my pocket. They do that. They want you to get you to advertise PDX 90 stuff, and they want you to take a picture before.
P90X?
Yeah. Did they want you to do that? And I want you to take a picture before and after. Did they contact you?
Oh, yeah. I was like, I'll hype it because I actually bought it, and I thought it was great. I just couldn't stick to the diet because I was always going on the road.
Oh, right.
But I'm not going to, I'm going to sit here and take my shirt off and then do a before and after, so you can advertise on my show. I got this many listeners. I'll tell them about it. I believe in your product. I'm not going to start stripping like a whore for you people. I'll work out because I want to. Are you guys somehow already taking over my podcast?
Yeah, I know now. Yes, like they're shaping your life, like you're in some kind of a boot camp. But anyway, I don't know, but Bill,
Jimmy,
don't...
we here at Johnson & Johnson want to advertise some of our new Band-Aids here on your podcast. Is there any way you could cut yourself deliberately and then put one of our Band-Aids on, take before and after pictures of the incision?
And then could you dive into a pool and then take a picture of yourself getting out with the Band-Aid still stuck on?
Yeah. How far do you got to go? How far down the radio ladder are we that we actually have to use the products
do you have,
that we talk about?
Do you have access to a high dive? Oh, Bill, I thought I saw, before I forget, we were talking about just a second ago, those women on those reality shows, which I do watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but I do that just to make fun of it, like for my show, like for a pop culture thing to make fun of. And
Right.
and this last season, it was really hard because the girl was boring. You know, they're not interesting people.
Oh, they got that dry, dead, tumbleweed hair. You know? Just from all the years of frying it and dyeing it and trying, it's done.
Yeah.
It should be beautiful, like silver or white, and just use a nice shampoo and a conditioner, but you're still trying to make it look like it's only 18 years old. It isn't.
Yeah.
It's been around since the Kennedy assassination.
Well,
And now look what you did to it. You dried it out.
well, let me ask you this. I thought I heard you one time talk about, because whenever I see the women with that lips, you know, they get the big fat lips. You know, someone when they get older, they start to get everybody wants a big fat lip. Did you ever have a bit about that? Didn't I see you making a joke about that once or something? Oh, okay. I thought I could have sworn.
I just know that they look really weird.
They do. And it seems like all the women.
They look like their real lips were ripped off, and then they just guy made a bad attempt to try to recreate lips. They don't even fit the face.
No, it's just I know. Like everybody wants to be Angelina Jolie, but you know.
Yeah, her lips look great because they're naturally part of her face. They don't know how to make lips yet. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
They're not...
Yeah, they haven't perfected. This is like remember when they first started doing the hair transplants and the guys had the cornrows and the doll heads? Well, that's the stage they're still in with the lips. You don't want to jump on that.
Joking around about that tonight where there was a hair plug commercial and this guy goes, "Oh, God, I wish I did this 10 years ago." I'm like, no, you don't. He's stapling ant legs to the top of people's heads. You know, it was funny. It was such a painful process. People used to tap out after a couple of rows and just said, "I don't care how stupid I look, just stop."
Yeah, stop.
With that hair gun, that hair nail gun you're stapling. You know, one of the first hair transplants was Elton John.
Oh, yeah.
I get the dome. His dome is horrifically scarred up unless he gets some sort of surgery to correct it, but that's why he always wears those
hats.
Wigs.
Yeah, he wears the wigs and the hats, and you don't ever want to get on the cutting edge of you don't want to be the first people doing the new plastic surgery technique. You want to let them do it for a couple of years. Like I remember,
Jimmy, I literally do a bit about that, so you don't think I stole it off this radio show. I compare it to the iPhone when the iPhone first came out. You know, you laid back. You wait 3 years. It goes on Verizon, then you go in. You don't want to be first in line.
That's
it's like
exactly
that Saving Private Ryan scene when that door comes down and those guys just take the machine gun.
Yes.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to be the first guy there. You want to. It's right. Yeah, you want to let them get their jet. You know, I did that. I waited for it to go Verizon. So.
Yeah, I'm going to get an iPhone now.
Yeah.
All those idiots who sat there spiking their phone on the car because it wouldn't work.
Yes.
The phone, everything worked but the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just laid back. I said, well, when the phone works, then I'll buy the phone. This is an iron, Jimmy. It won't iron your shirt, but it's a great paperweight.
Yeah. And you can use it to clean your fridge.
Oh, yeah, and get some of the dust out of the corners of the room.
Okay, Bill. Well,
my girl just said I was smug listening to my talk here.
Really?
How am I smug? I'm sitting there talking about household appliances.
It's just about being funny.
Yeah, you know what it is. She saw me go on stage tonight. She saw me dazzle the crowd. So like any good female, she needs to take me down a couple of pegs, just in case. Hey, I'm recording a phone conversation here.
Oh, it's good to hear you
know
guys.
how they do it, Jimmy.
Hi, yeah.
You know what a great bit about that was Will Sylvance.
I don't know who.
Talk about how women try to knock you down. I see you calling everything little. I see you over there in your little Mercedes, your little friends, doing your little, everything's little.
Yeah. Doing your little show at Little Largo.
Yeah.
Well.
That's brutal. They need to get back to the rule of thumb.
What didn't that come from guys beating their wife, the rule of thumb?
Yeah, you couldn't hit it with the stick any bigger than your thumb.
That was the rule of
like a mop handle. That's where we lost our power, Jimmy. You didn't really hit her. You just grabbed it. Ta-da! That was it. You see what I got here?
Well, good for you,
A
Bill.
little bit bigger than my thumb, but I think they'll let me get away with this.
How could you even pick? I mean, something a little bit. I mean, I have big thumbs, and that's not big. To hit like that's how do you find a piece?
Well, the mop handles weren't that big back then. People had little hands.
Yeah.
Just before they had.
Okay.
They had all the horse tranquilizers in the food. You ever go get an organic chicken? It looks like it's the size of a pigeon.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it's not all pumped up with all that shit, right? I mean, chicken.
Oh my God, those. I don't know what that Purdue guy's doing. You're probably gonna get sued. That food lobby's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, well, it's all the hormones and everything.
Stop saying that we're doing what we're doing.
Stop running around spreading the truth.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, Jimmy. We're speaking the truth.
I don't know, Bill. I've been slipping.
I'm on a stump right now.
I've been slipping lately. You know, I've made a promise that I didn't want to participate in the factory farming, but I don't know something about that. This last summer, I had a couple of more hamburgers than I normally would. Trying not to beat myself up over it.
You know, I took my Prius over to the car wash today, and I got it detailed. I think I'm the first person that ever sat around for 2 hours waiting for somebody to try to make a hybrid hatchback look brand new.
I didn't even know you had a Prius.
Jesus Christ, Jimmy, how many times I come over to your house and you see that sweet ride pulling up? I think you're just so jealous of it, you've blocked it out of your mind.
That's what it must be, Billy. That's right. Yeah.
You know what's funny when you drive that car is the amount of defensive people. Like, who you think you're saving the environment? You're not doing anything. I never said I was. You ever think maybe I'm just cheap? And I don't.
I'm trying to save on gas.
Yeah, and then they always try to tell you how bad the batteries are for the environment. It's like, yeah, well, we don't have to go over to the Middle East
to get batteries.
You know, that's what I like about it. I would love to watch the Middle East go broke. That's one of my fantasies. You know? And then they just go back to rock throwing, and then they're not a threat. You know?
Yes. You know, people do say, they go, well, you know, they got to make the power that powers your car somewhere. You know, it's good. It's burning oil somewhere. And I'm like, well, no, maybe it's, you know, hydroelectric power. Who knows? Maybe it's nuclear. Who knows? Maybe it's wind power.
Is there anything better than getting into a scientific debate with someone else who also isn't a scientist?
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things to do in a bar.
Yes.
Well, you know, what about the electromagnetic strategy? Like, why don't we all just stop and admit that we flunked biology? Forget about any sort of.
What about soup? Wait, you know, how do you explain?
I don't even attempt to do the most simplest electrical work in my apartment. So why am I going to talk about fossil fuels?
When you're on the edge of a black hole, time stands still, and you can't. You can cross the time barrier because you're at an edge event horizon.
Excellent. You know something? I think you're right. You're right. I also overheard something like that one time.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it, so I could repeat it, though.
Bill, let me ask you real quick. I was watching, they had the Tea Party debate on CNN last night, and they asked the guy, Rick Perry, they go, Brian Williams goes, hey, you know, you've executed 234 people in the state of Texas, and people just started applauding. And I'm like, wow, that's a little weird. What do you think? It's a little weird, right?
Woo!
Right.
Take that, everybody. You know what, Jimmy? If they were guilty, I think it's a good thing that he did it. You know, it's the dumbest thing ever. You have life in prison. We're just going to stick you in there. And we'll let you out every 23 hours to do some jumping jacks, then you got to go back. And the guy's life's over. Just end it.
No, I mean, I'm not. It's not. You know,
how many cans of corn do you and I have to pay for out of our work checks? You know, it's over.
I'm not.
I think if you touch a kid immediately. They take you out back. They put you down like a rabid dog.
Well, you know what I don't understand, Bill, is here's what I don't get. You always hear about, this guy who, he got abducted this kid. He was arrested once before for child molestation. How do you ever get out of jail after you've been convicted of child molestation? That's just blows my mind. He did.
I think you write a letter to the Catholic Church, and they go, "Yeah, we understand. We got a job for you when you get out. We'll put you down there in Tulsa."
Yeah, like you can do a search on the internet of all the perverts who live in your neighborhood, like all the sex offenders, because they have to be registered. There's like a website for that. They're really, and you're like, what? Why did this guy only do 8 years for raping someone? Why would you only do 8 years for that? That sounds like, if they call anyway.
They're not killing enough people, and there's not enough cell space there.
Yeah, well, it's because they're all full of, drug addicts in prison instead of, people who should be in prison, bankers. Anyway.
You know what, Jimmy? I love my car as much as someone loves their child. So I think if someone ever steals my car, they should be put to death.
I'm with you. I really.
And then we'll harvest their organs just like they do. You ever hear about that in China?
No.
You get kicked. Oh my God! Well, they got so many people over there. They're like. Yeah, I was going to say sham wows. I don't know what to call them. They're just like disposable. They kill so many fucking people over there, Jimmy. They just like.
Really?
I think if you get caught jaywalking, you get put to death over there, and they got it down to a science. They put you to sleep in the cell like you're going to go to get an operation.
Uh-huh.
They bring you out to this van. And it has like a little operating table. And what they do is they then give you the lethal injection. And the second you're pronounced dead, they slice you open and they harvest all your organs except for your heart because that's where the poison goes.
Really?
Yeah, they got it down to a. It's like you ever see like when they lie to somebody and they say that their classic car got stolen, but they're actually taking it down to a shop
to get it fixed up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with organs.
I mean, that's
body off restoration. Well, actually, it's more like if, say, like you buy a '66 Mustang, a halfway decent one, then you buy another one that's kind of a piece of crap, but you use that one for parts. That's kind of what they do. I guess that would be the analogy there, Jimmy.
Yeah, but that's beyond. Doesn't that like even to talk about it, isn't it like gross you out? That's beyond creepy, isn't it?
To do something like that,
I'm gonna kill you and take your.
I don't know. It all depends.
It's not like the guy's dying.
It all
they killed him and then they took his organs. Like, oh boy, it just seems so wrong.
Well, they're recycling. Well, what do you think the guy did?
I don't know. He's in China. Like,
in China, he probably didn't signal when he made a left turn.
Well, I know that. I know we actually incarcerate way more people than China does in America, but maybe they just don't incarcerate them; they just kill them.
Look, there's no way we do way more of anything. No, than China with all those people. The only thing we do more than them is stretch our legs out and not hit somebody else in front of us. Those people over there, they're just stacked up.
They're all stacked up.
Not more murders over there. You imagine everywhere you look, there's somebody else's stupid face and you don't even know them. You're just trying to go down to buy some barbecue duck with the head still on it, Just trying to have a nice day over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to laugh. I got to laugh out of my girl.
Wow, look at that. You got a little laugh out of your girl, huh? Your little girl.
Sitting over here on my little cell phone. Now we're doing Will Sylvance's bit here.
Oh, so I just
Sylvance, sorry.
So, Bill, I just pulled up the international homicide rate per 100,000 population by region. And the number one, do you know what the number one is? The most murderous country, according to this? South Africa. 37 murders per 100,000 people. Let's see where China is. It's
really hard to get murdered.
It seems like it.
37 out of 100,000.
Let's see. Caribbean. Where's China? China doesn't even Asia. It just says Asia. Oh, really? You wouldn't break it
Yeah,
down?
that's not like a very accurate study. They started off with countries and then went to continents.
Yeah.
And in last place, Antarctica. They finally came down, right?
Yeah.
After all those years of those abominable snowmen down there.
Seems like it.
All the horrible things that happened.
Oh, right. So this was pretty.
Hey, Jimmy, if you could have your dream house, they're going to build your dream house. You're with your dream girl. You got a flat screen TV.
Where's my wife?
She can be there too. You can have everything, right?
Okay.
And
That sounds great then.
it supplies, but you have to live in Antarctica. Dream house, as big as you want it to be. The heat's never going to shut off. It's going to be awesome. You can play tennis inside. You can do the whole damn thing. You got your dream girl, dog, whatever the hell you want.
Do I have an attached garage?
You got an attached garage with a room above it for the in-laws.
Oh, for Fonzie.
Yeah, for Fonzie. And he's
Um,
paying rent, so there's more money because you don't even have any overhead. It's all free.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
No, not a chance in hell, Bill. I wouldn't go there if you paid. You'd have to really pay me.
Why? You know why that is, Jimmy? It's because you're a people person.
Is that why?
You just can't get enough of them.
What made you ask me that question? Are you asking people that question in general lately, or is that what made you?
No, I just brought up Antarctica. I figured it was 1:39 in the morning. It just seemed like the right time, you know?
Yes.
I go with my gut, Jimmy.
Okay.
It's not always right.
I hear you. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out, Bill. Thanks for
No problem.
This was supposed to, this we talked about a lot of different things. I thought we were just going to talk about 9/11, but it's always.
Let me ask you one more hypothetical question. Which mass murdering dictator do you find you most relate to?
Oh.
Like if you had to hang with one, you had to be friends.
Well, can I get a
Stalin had a great head of hair, you know.
I don't know. Maybe
Probably had good vodka.
was Mussolini. He was murder. Was he murderous?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Ugly Telly Savalas.
I don't know. How about Idi Amin?
Idi Amin. Yeah, his voice annoyed me. I don't like his voice. Hitler was a spaz.
Well, you know what I just realized yesterday, Bill? That nobody does the Hitler mustache, but before Hitler, it was a Chaplin mustache.
That's right.
I never thought about that. Even when I watch old movies, I never go, "Hey, Chaplin's got a Hitler mustache." I'm just like, "Oh, that's Charlie Chaplin."
Michael Jordan had one recently in one of his underwear ads, and Charles Barkley called him out on it.
Said we look like Hitler.
He said he has a Hitler mustache. Why does he have a Hitler mustache?
That's. I would like to hear the answer to that. That's like naming your kid Adolf, right? Nobody does that. Those are two things.
No, I think it's a black guy. You can get away with it because Hitler was white.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think I can get away with it as a redhead. People would just think that maybe I was a Fatty Arbuckle fan. Did he have a mustache?
I don't know.
Let me ask you this: if you walked in the Halloween party and you walked in, you had a Hitler mustache, but no other part of the outfit, and you just kept going, "How you doing, my little chickadee?" Doing this bad W.C. Fields impression. Would people still think you were a Nazi or just confused?
I think they would think you're confused.
That would be.
I think they'd be like that.
Is to come to a Halloween party dressed as Hitler and then doing an impression of somebody else and see if you can actually get people to think you're so dumb.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler with W.C. Fields.
That'd be funny.
Jim, you're dressed like Adolf Hitler. No, it's W.C. Fields.
No, my chicken.
I thought he was incorporated. I thought that swastika was his logo. That was like his BP. I don't know. It's late, Jimmy. I'm running out of funny. I'm getting delusional here.
Billy, I know you did 2 1 hour. I didn't know you were doing 2 hours. That's on a what day is today? Tuesday? Look at you doing
Tuesday. My off day, yeah.
I know. Look at you. You can't stop. You got to make hay when the sun shines, right?
That's what you got to do, Jimmy. You know what it is? See, most headliners on a Tuesday, you know, they're hanging at their apartment playing footsie with their girl, but not me.
No, you're out getting it done.
I'm doing 2 shows.
I hear you. All right, Bill. Well, thanks for taking time out and talking with us. You would go play footsie.
All right. All right, Jimmy, when am I going to get in, some real time here? We kill it when we're together.
I know. We'll do it. I just have to set it up. I'm bad at this, Bill.
Jimmy, I get it. The friendship's over. Okay, we'll just do it over the phone.
You do your show by yourself. It's such a pain in the ass to book people and set it up, and honest to God, I'm so
having a job.
Okay.
All right. It's great seeing you at the airport the other day. I hope to see you soon. All right,
it was
brother?
nice. We almost spent a couple of minutes together. It was fantastic.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
See you.
7 weeks on the road, and I am so delusioned by everything. I don't even know where I stand on things because I'm sitting there going like, these goddamn bankers, these pieces of crap and all this blah, blah, blah. We need to organize and we need to have some sort of peaceful revolt against these guys. And then I'm sitting in this airport terminal and the fucking animals that I'm looking at. This person ate like 4 Egg McMuffins. I saw a guy, wait, let me finish. Eats 4 Egg McMuffins and wiped his face with the bag. With the bag, Jim. He didn't even do it like on the side. He just, like he just got done shaving. Over his whole face.
Yeah, they're flying great.
I saw another fat fuck in the airport. His back itched, and he's leaning up against his support pole for a whole floor of an airport. And it's like a grizzly bear is rubbing up against this fucking pole. Shameless animals. The joke I've been doing to my act is, if you can't itch it, you can't wash it. And now you're on the plane and you're sitting next to me and you're bitching that you got to pay for 2 seats. Look, I get why these arrogant fuckers think that they need
Everybody's
a bonus.
mad at fat people in America. I think that's funny. Go ahead.
Dude, it really is one of the least sympathetic diseases out there, because who doesn't want to eat every cupcake that they can get their hands on?
Right.
They're living the dream, dude. You know what I mean?
I sat next to these 2 people. I was coming home from Baltimore, and I was sitting in the airport, and I sat down to have my little egg sandwich, and they are 2 of probably the fattest people I've ever seen in my life, and they're eating, their Egg McMuffins and whatever, and they're just stuffing them, and they eat 2, and I was like, okay, and I'm like, and then the woman goes into her purse, pulls out this shoebox, right, and it's obviously some kind of gourmet treat. She opens the top, and she pulls out this hunk that looks like a hockey puck of fudge. Hands it to her husband. He jams the whole thing in his mouth. Fudge. And then she pulls out another hunk, like a hunk. It's dense. You know what I mean?
And fudge is not like something that you can take a big bite. Right. I mean, it's like you can only have a little bit of it because you almost pass out.
And I'm like, how are these people? Like, if I have a piece of white bread, I'm like tired all day. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have had that white bread. These people are jamming McMuffins in their mouth and pieces of shoebox-sized pieces of fudge, and they're functioning. Maybe I'm just jealous of them.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I'm in the middle. I get it. I get why those guys are so arrogant. I know what they tell their kids. We're better than them. But look at them. Look how they live their lives.
Yes.
And we're down in the sports bars.
Yes.
Jets. Morons. We're morons. Dude, the level with which that I give a shit about sports it's ridiculous. When all this other stuff is going on, it really is. It's bread and circus, and I've totally bought into it. Hook, line. Do you know tonight I watched the Monday Night Football game while flipping back and forth between the Kings and the Dallas Stars, while I was taping the Vancouver Canucks versus the Edmonton Oilers game.
Why are you so into sports like that, Bill? Before you answer that question, think about it.
I'm running from love, Jimmy.
I think
I don't know what I'm doing, but you know something? I always wanted to learn a second language. I got that goddamn Rosetta Stone.
Oh, you do?
I got it last Christmas, dude. A fucking
What
2K
language?
level of dust is on top of this thing. I haven't opened it. It's just sitting there mocking me.
toupee level of dust.
And I was sitting there like, what's his face? Burt Reynolds and Malone. Remember that? Didn't he play a movie called Malone?
I don't remember.
It was somewhere between Sharky's Machine and Stroke Erase. It's one of the
Stroke Erase
greatest.
sounds so dirty.
It's one of the greatest covers to a movie I've ever seen. He's just standing there with some sort of shotgun. He's all sweaty, and there's flames behind him. It's like a Dio album cover.
I saw. Is that Hooper? When he was in Hooper, remember that?
No, Hooper was a cool one. He was still Terry Bradshaw was in it.
Yeah, Terry
From
Bradshaw was in
Zibulus
it.
Jr. Who was the name of that young kid who just pissed it all away?
Yeah, that guy from the
Ephraim
helicopter.
Seymour Hoffman. I can't ever remember the names.
A year after dozens of banks around the world accepted billions in taxpayer bailouts to avoid being swept away by the financial crisis, the same banks are beginning to announce billions of dollars for bonuses to executives and traders, many of whom are the same people charged with the reckless risk-taking that led to the current recession.
Oh yeah, no, it's over. Dude.
And you know how they're and their banks are starting to post gains again. They inject them with some kind of a chemical that turns them red, and then they send them to your store.
Is that right?
You didn't know that? That's why they taste like shit.
What are we?
And that's why tomatoes suck. That's why you have to go to a
How
farmer's.
much fucking money do you have to make? That's the question. Being a traveling road comic, I ask constantly. When I go to these airports and they come up with yet another way to charge me, and the fucking flight is sold out. Okay, if I sell out a comedy club, could I honestly stand back there and cry poorhouse to you? You'd be like, dude, the club is sold out. You're on a plane, it's jam-packed with people. They got the rows so close, we got our knees up to our chest. And they're charging $25 for a bag on U.S. Air now. You know why? Because American is charging $25.
Yes.
And nobody complained. That's how they justify it.
Well, Bill, I understand you got some of your money back one time.
I understand that too.
Yes, I did.
What does it say on the blue tag on the wire?
On the blue tag on my
It's
wire?
his.
It says Steph.
Oh, okay.
It says Steph. This is a high-tech show right now.
Yes.
This is what happens when your blue tape guy doesn't
You were
show up.
You were a little low. I had your mic was a little low for the top of the show, so we're going to rewind that. Do you think you can remember what you said?
No.
Okay, well, we'll keep going then.
There's no possible way.
So tell me, you want to tell? That's it's a nightmare. You know, I often say that it used to be flying used to be a chore. It went from being like cool when I first started flying.
Privilege. An upper class thing. You used to wear a suit.
Yeah.
Women had these hats with veils. Dude, you know what? You know what first class used to be on Pan Am? Before the MetLife building was a MetLife building in New York, used to be the Pan Am building. When you flew first class, you landed in JFK. You got off the plane. You walked over to a helicopter. They flew you to the top of the Pan Am building. They had a club there. You got drinks. You probably got blown if you want to. And then you got your bags. You went down to the ground floor, jumped in a cab, and went to your hotel. That was first class back then.
Really?
I flew first class recently, and by the time they got to my row, they were out of eggs. I swear to God, in first class, and I lost it. I pouted.
You didn't
I was like,
bring
you know what?
enough eggs for first class?
Yeah, I pouted. I was like, I don't want anything. So 5 minutes goes by, and then the stewardess comes back to me and goes, actually, and she has these eggs, and she goes, actually, the pilot said that you could have his eggs. And I'm like, I don't want his eggs. I want my eggs.
Yes.
I don't want my pilot like passing out from hunger up there. He should get eggs. I should get eggs. We should all get eggs.
Did you say this to her?
What? No, it was a guy. What did I say? That's what I said. I said, I don't want his eggs. No, I ended up eating them, actually. Now that I think of it. That was the old me who didn't complain, but the new me complains.
That's what I understand. You're writing letters and
25? No, emails.
Emails?
It's 2009. They don't even accept letters. I paid $25 for my first bag checked. I go, you got to be kidding me. It's $25. And the lady's like, well, it's only 20 if you go online. And I'm like, yeah, but then you don't have a job. She goes, I know, but they make me say that. I go, they make you say that? They make you try to get rid of your own job? She goes, yeah. You know what's even worse? They actually make us tell people and encourage old people even to use those automated machines. And the people above them get a commission, the more people who use them. And the people down the bottom don't get anything. So they're basically using my and her financial position to get me to pick up the knife and slit her throat because they don't have the balls to do it. It's brutal. It's brutal. So I pay $25 for my check bag. I land and I stand and I have to wait 55 minutes before I finally get my bag. 35 minutes goes by. Nobody has said anything. And I finally walk into the glass booth, a la Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with the bags? Right? And she's just like, oh, it was a Sunday. We have a skeleton crew. Blah, blah. So I go, what do you got, like one guy? She goes, yeah, one guy for 200 bags. So I kind of had a laugh. This was about 20, 25 minutes in. And then 40 minutes in, then I walked in, and I was like, yeah, who do I complain to? I want to get my money back for the bag thing. They're like, oh, you can't do it here. And the lady's not even making eye contact with me because she's so beaten down from getting yelled at. That's what I love, too, those employees. Like, they have no factoring in on the decision making. Their job is to basically stand there and get yelled at for the douchebag who's sitting on a yacht. So anyway, she just hands me this piece of paper and goes, this is the website, you go there to complain. So then I walked out and I start trying to cause a mini riot. I go, I get my money back for this. I go, I just got my piece of paper. Like, you can do that? Yeah. And I sent like 5 people in there, right? Attica.
Yeah.
Light some trash on fire, right? And then the bags came down 55 minutes later. So I go to the web.
Like Goldman Sachs had like a $4 billion profit. You know how they're doing it? They're not lending money to people and making money off the loan. It's the same shit that they did before. It's all securitization. It's all these insurance default swaps and all this
banking
bullshit.
And insurance is the 2 biggest scams
Unbelievable.
ever. Like, oh yeah, health insurance. Yeah, we cover everything except what's wrong with you. That's basically it. And then when we actually have to finally pay for it, the amount of money that you've already given us plus your deductible is the worst case scenario. Maybe we'll break even on you. And if we're going to lose, we'll just cancel your insurance.
People don't know that about insurance. They don't know that. They go, well, I like my insurance. That's because you've never been sick. As soon as you get sick, the full force of your health insurance company goes against you, trying to find ways to deny.
And this is the worst thing. Your premium helped pay the salaries of the guys who are looking over your case trying to find an angle, dude.
Trying to deny you the payment for the services that you need. It's the craziest system. Somebody made the analogy that it took us about 40 years before we figured out that cigarettes are really bad for us.
Right.
It went from the 1965, the Surgeon General says that these are bad for your health. They had to put that on the side of the pack up until now. Hey, this is going to give you lung cancer.
Right.
It's definitely going to happen.
Right.
So it took like that long, and somebody says that's how long it's going to take for us to figure out that health insurance is dangerous for our health.
Well, we actually just read that. Was it WellPoint that the people that their employees that they actually cut their benefits?
Yes.
Or was it Blue Cross?
No, it was Blue Cross. Yes.
They actually cut their employees' benefits.
Because they're out of ways to make money.
Yes, and so
and every quarter they have to show that documentary.
Problem with the corporation.
Every quarter they have to show a profit, and they are out of ways. They're just straight up robbing people.
So, like for instance, when I remember the first taste I got of this corporatism stuff was when I was working Knuckleheads in Minneapolis, and it was in the Mall of America, and it had gotten bought.
Did you go on the Ferris wheel?
I did not, but it had gotten bought. One of the funniest and saddest things there was a store that had just opened. I was there like about 4 or 5 months after 9/11. And there was a store that had just opened up right before 9/11 called the 9/11 store.
No. And what did it mean?
And it was that you could go in and get all this memorabilia, like from fire departments and emergency and police things, and they sold police hats and all this. And it was the 911 store. And then I remember they had
911.
Yeah, and they had there was a 911 store,
God.
and so they had to put up another like poster because they had, I'm sure, all their letterhead was the 911 store, and they had T-shirts and that. So they didn't want to change the name of their store. They thought it would maybe blow over. So they put a poster up. This store was named before. This is not any. And I'm like, that's not helping.
Yeah,
that's not helping.
You know what's funny is Pearl Harbor is Pearl Harbor, but like all major you have to think was Pearl Harbor December 7th?
Yes,
December 7th. So you got to try to remember from history class, but no one's ever going to forget 9/11. They're going to be, maybe that September 11th thing will stick, and we can keep the name of our store as 911.
But anyway,
there's no dash. Won't people see that
the first taste of corporatism I got was that place had been bought by a big corporation that ran a bunch of nightclubs. One of them being the America's original bar and grill, or something like one of those places, America's Bar and Grill.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just this huge place that. So anyways, so the woman who was the manager of the comedy club at the time had just gotten promoted to be manager there. She was the assistant manager at the America's bar across, and they own Jillian's. You know, they own a bunch of these
Horrible places
Yes.
to eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Barbecue
So she had just
quesadilla.
gotten promoted from over there to over to the comedy club. So she knew a lot about comedy
Right.
and how it worked. And I remember there was a thing up in the bar area of the club, the service bar, that said it had how much money they made last year in drinks for this week. And even each day, how much they made, and then they had to outdo it. And I'm like, so you guys just can't be happy making a decent
Making
profit.
money.
You can't just make a profit. You have to do. But that's the way people get promoted in corporations. They had increased the profit from last year and the last quarter, from the quarter from last. And so I'm like, but how are these waitresses
It's a recipe for
supposed
stealing?
How are these
Yes.
waitresses supposed to make them drink more? What do you mean? You have to sell more? Okay, welcome to another episode of Comedy and Everything Else. Now Steph is getting ready to make some. She's broiling some chicken, or she's barbecuing some chicken. Thank you, Steph. Could you turn off the AC?
How do you barbecue in a kitchen? I thought it,
No, we have outside. We have a gas grill hooked up to a line into our house.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's really
You're not
nice.
outside. You're not barbecuing.
It's the Weber's Silver Series 500. I don't know if you
Oh, is that
are
what it is?
familiar. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. One of the sponsors of your show, Jimmy.
It's got the flavor rod saver. By the way, the guy who runs the website that hosts this pod, or one of the guys, we'll think about. I'm gonna trash the guy maybe next podcast because he's kind of a big douche.
Okay.
Rob Walsh.
Is Bill prepared to deal with me? Does he know?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think so. We're here with comedian Bill Burr. Bill Burr, of course, you know from. I saw him when he was on a episode. I was trying to think of that show I saw you on.
Yeah, you know what? That's the perfect intro I should have. Yeah,
Everyone
Bill Burr,
knows who
should
you
know
are.
Him from.
I was trying to think of a funny.
He did that thing on that VH1.
No, everyone
channel.
knows who you are who listens to this podcast. That's why I don't feel
all
a
right.
need to give you.
All right, I'm one of the hacks running around the country giving you my hour of what I think is wacky. I have a new special coming out called "What's the Deal?"
Bill
Straight
Burr.
up.
Yeah, your new special is entitled "Why Do I Do This?" Correct?
Yes, and that was the one that came out last year, and I'm getting ready to do another one.
Oh,
in
look
December. I'm taping another one up in San Francisco. Burning
Really? You're
another hour.
already doing
Burning
another
hour.
Another
Jimmy.
one.
I'm going to
No,
wait.
this is the thing. I taped that other one in November of 2007, but because of the writer's strike and all that crapoli, it took like 8 months to get it out. So I had an
Is that what the deal
Yeah,
was?
that was the deal, and I had an
'Cause-
8 month head start. Be like, you already got a new hour? It's like, yeah, I taped that last one back in the '60s. So I'm ready. I'm ready to do another one.
And
And that's it, Jimmy. It's it.
Speak closer.
No, that's going to be it.
Oh, there you go.
Off my next special. That's it.
You're doing it in December?
I'm doing the Roman Colosseum. I'm going to play the Taj Mahal. I'm going to be the biggest comedian ever. I'm going to be so big, you can't even see me. And I'm not going to have like video screens or anything. You're just going to be sitting out in a desert.
You're going to be like that guy from Canada. Who's that? Russell.
Dude, Russell Peter, yeah, he sells out Asia.
That's true, right?
Yeah, like that's on his calendar. He just has Asia,
Asia.
like a Friday night, and like everybody from Asia shows up.
And they
And
section it
he
off.
stands on the Great Wall of China. What's the deal?
Have you
Deal,
ever seen that
deal?
guy?
You know what's funny? I see him all the time on auditions, and I see him as I'm walking out of a club, he's walking in. I did a gig in Toronto. He had just gone on. I've never seen him do stand-up. I know he likes white sneakers, though.
Yes, he likes
Always
white
has
sneakers.
white shoes on.
He
That's
enjoys
one
a white
thing.
sneaker. I like a
I think
colored
that's his nickname over in Asia.
white sneaker.
Yeah, Russell White
Sneaker.
Sneaker Peters, like Billy White Shoes Johnson we have over here. Good for him, dude. I'd love to sell out a continent. You could sell out any continent. What would it be? You can't pick this one. Let's not be so isolationist.
Oh, we can't. About
I can't sell out the South.
if I could sell out a continent,
Yeah.
ooh,
What would you pick?
Europe, of course.
Yeah, really? I would go like Nicaragua.
That's not a continent.
Different comedy.
Well, of course I thought to go that way first.
I was
but
mostly
I didn't.
I was mostly panicked thinking
Yeah.
about the continents.
Oh,
Like
I was
Sarah
going to say
Palin.
Iceland, but I'm not that into white chicks.
How are they bankrupt?
Yeah, they totally went bankrupt, and I think they went and kicked out all their elected leaders. Like they went and physically went and kicked them out.
Yeah, but I like nobody's starving to death, because that's a big thing I'm fearing, is when people finally discover that we're just giving each other green pieces of paper. Once that happens,
Well, they're starting to discover it because they're monetizing the debt, which means they're driving down the value of the dollar. They're just printing money, and
Yeah.
so the value of the dollar is going to shit. My friend Mike.
Can you explain? Because I'm too stupid. But how come ketchup isn't like $90 a bottle at this point? I don't understand that. And why isn't gold like $20,000 an ounce?
And how come ketchup tastes exactly the same as it did when I was a little kid? Yet tomatoes totally blow. Like you can't get
suck.
You can't get a good tomato now. Well, that's because it's all factory farming, and what they don't ever ripen. They pick them completely unripe and green, and there's no sugar in them in the tomatoes. And then
Site. This is how psychotic corporations are. I'm going there to complain, and I have to fill out like a page and a half of information. Everything's short of my social security number. So even when they're losing, they're winning. They get more information that they can share with all their other douche. So I refuse to do it. So I there's a phone number, and I called up. I learned this new magic word, unacceptable. Mm-hmm. That's all I say, unacceptable. And I call up, and I said, yeah, I want to get my money back. But Bob told them the whole deal. And then they go, yeah, well, you got to go to the website. I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. There's too much information. I'm not giving you that. They go, well, sir, that's the only way you can get your money back. I go, that's unacceptable. I'd like to talk to somebody else. Okay. Then they put somebody else on. Yes, sir. If you go to USA or gofuckyourself.com, you just fill it out. I go, that's unacceptable. I don't want to do all that. Well, sir, that's the only way to do it. I go, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Okay. I don't have to give you all of this information. You know who I am. You know what flight I'm on. I waited an hour. It's unacceptable. I want my money back. I know you didn't. I keep saying, I know you didn't do it. I know you're not the person. I just kept doing that. And then all of a sudden now, after 20 minutes of being on the phone, now they have this little secret email for me to go to. I don't want to go do the email. And they go, listen, this is the guy. All right, you got us. Email this guy. Leave your phone number. Tell him what hours you want him to call back. He'll call you back in 2 days. So I say Thursday between 1 and 4. Gave him the whole scenario. I fly U.S. Airways all the time. I'm a loyal customer. I just did.
Are you a loyal customer of the
Hell
US?
no.
Well, don't you think he could look that up?
Possibly.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't
think they're going to waste your
I'm throwing out
time.
all the words. So basically, and then like the next day, they send me an email. I got it the next day. It said, due to your circumstances, because I said, yeah, they had a skeleton crew. In other words, you didn't have enough people to unload the plane. My girl had to pay for parking. I still ended up losing because she had to pay for parking. So the guy sends me an email back, and he goes, due to your circumstances, we will give a one-time courtesy refund. A one-time. See, they still had to put
Yes.
themselves on top, like they're doing me a favor. And it's like, no, dude, you're going to give me an every-time refund. I'm not paying $25 and waiting for 55 minutes. So this is the thing. But a classic corporation, they can't just give me the refund. They always have to make you crawl through another 100 yards of shit, right? So basically, they can't just give it back to me. It's going to take about a month. And they gave me, and I can't talk to this guy ever again who sent me the email, but they did give me the part of the website where I can go to monitor the status of my refund. $25, dude. And I know what they want. They're hoping I'm just going to blow it off, and I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I'm going to be part of the 0.667%.
So how did it? So Bill, what's your problem with capitalism?
What is my problem with capitalism? It's like baseball. It needs a salary cap. It's the exact same thing because everything is turning into the Yankees. Okay? And I feel like I'm on the Pirates. That's why. And I'm actually in a great position. But what they're doing is they're organized. We're not. And they have turned the government into middle management.
Yes.
It goes the banks, then it goes corporations, and then it goes that guy in Blackwater, and
Yes.
then it goes the government. That's the pecking order of the power. Like the government is just like that person when you go to the airport and you scream at the girl behind the counter, "I'm never flying your fucking airline again." That's what the president is now.
Yes.
He told the banks after they messed up the economy and stole $1 trillion that they shouldn't take bonuses. And the bank said, yeah, you know what? We're going to take them. Why don't you run back to the White House? And he did. So right there, I was just like, all right, I get it. Dude, if the president tells me not to take a bonus, I don't get a bonus.
Yeah, but they took him.
They took the bonus.
They're taking
That's what I'm
their
saying.
bonus.
They told him to go back to the White. They didn't literally say that, but they were like, "Yeah, it's in our contract. There's nothing we can do. We're too big to fail." I'm telling you, Jimmy.
Bill, put your earphones on for a second.
I'm telling you.
There will be time for them to make profits, and there will be time for them to get bonuses. Now's not that time. And that's a message that I intend to send directly to them.
A message. That's the best he can do.
That's a message.
He's going to leave a message. He's not going to order them.
That's
a
what he
message.
said. And guess what?
They had a message.
This year, the bonus pool for the Wall Street banks is larger than ever.
Yeah, and I got to tell you something.
Larger than ever.
Yeah.
We're laying off teachers. We're closing down parks.
Yeah.
We're cutting health care. There is no welfare to
40,000 people die every year without health care.
45,000.
I gotta tell you- I gotta tell you this
We
right
have
now.
no health care to people. We're at the biggest bonus pool in history for the Wall Street banker. The guys who fucking did this to the economy after Barack Obama tells them this is not the time to be taken. They're going to cut. It's all over.
I got to tell you, I'm so delusional. I did the last six of the last